Hello guys, this is your friend Naruto Audio Fanfics and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto was ostracized after bringing back Sasuke and became the Black Wolf ANBU of Konoha, Naruto times Kurenai Yuhi times Anko Mitarashi times Yugao Azuki times Hinata Hyuga times Ino Yamanaka times Tamari, Part 2. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. Asuma was seen in a bar pouring sake after sake inside his mouth like a madman. He couldn't believe for 1 second that the Kyuubi brat took Kurenai away from him. He is only 16. Goddammit, I'm her age and a bloody Junin. I started fighting before that brat was even born. What he has that I don't have. All of these thoughts passed through the bearded shinobi as he continued to pour sake. Meanwhile, Kakashi entered the bar in search for at least a thing to do, since the ones he know, namely Uzumaki Naruto, Azuki Yugo, Yamato, Anko, were either in ANBU duty or torturing someone for gaining information and well, Kakashi didn't want to hear about fire of youth speeches from his rival. He studied the bar for a while, seeing a few Chunin celebrating the outgoing of their mission to Iowa where they managed to disband an entire army of bandits away. Then Kakashi spotted Asuma near the bartender asking to serve him more sake, which Kakashi figured it was maybe the 10th round, since he could practically smell the alcohol coming out of Asuma. Hello Asuma, what you up to? Asked Kakashi, before ducking one of Asuma's trench knives that passed on top of his head and hit a bottle on the other side of the bar. Beat it, Kakashi, I don't want to talk about it, mumbled Asuma, showing a behavior typical of a pure macho, but inside he was fuming with rage, but the scarecrow was tough to convince. Normally, I would leave, knowing that it would be too troublesome to hear it. Kakashi is lazy as well as Shikamaru, but since I don't have anything to do, I figure a little talk would be nice, seeing that I may know what you're so down about, said Kakashi, already reading his orange book much to Asuma's dismay and sigh. It's your damn student, that Kyuubi brat, said Asuma applying a strong grip on his cup, not able to break it but to show how angry he was just for Kakashi to sigh since he already foreseen such behavior from the bearded friend. Normally, Kakashi wouldn't even care about this, but since the reason of the guy's madness involved Naruto, he was going to try and ease the guy if things would go worse and he decides to attack Naruto physically. What about him? Oh, you mean his relationship with Kurenai-san? Said Kakashi, again evading the other trench knife. Yes. What the hell did he do to her to brainwash her? I mean I can't come with a reason for Kurenai to want to be with Uzumaki. Well, he saved her life once when Kurenai went to a mission to Iowa to gather information. She was attacked by 2 Iowa ANBUs and Naruto took them down and saved her. After that, they stayed with each other until her mission was to be reported to Tsunade-sama. I guess then they kind of felt something for one another. I don't know. Related Kakashi, seeing Asuma's expression changing a little bit, but still wasn't enough. So, only because he saved her, does that mean that she has to be with him? That's ludicrous, Kakashi. It's not some regular kunoichi who fell in love with her savior. Kurenai is a Junin for Christ's sake. She was a Junin by the time he was a genin, scowled Asuma in a way that it looked like he was exhaling smoke through his nostrils quite like a bull. True, but I don't think that Kurenai aka the Ice Queen of Konoha, would melt for someone who just saved her from danger. But I don't know what happened between them after he saved her and her team, but I assume that was more to it than just her appreciation to Naruto for saving her. Said Kakashi, knowing that Asuma would see what he was going to talk after that, without actually needing to. I guess, said Asuma, now demonstrating the real emotion he was feeling, lack of pride. Asuma was a veteran warrior, so it was safe to say that his pride went to the roof, after staying alive while enduring most battles. Huh, I bet that kid didn't see near as much as I did. Right now, Asuma was smirking, but to Kakashi he felt what the intention was, since Kakashi had the ability of reading everyone like an open book, well except Naruto, to whom he quitted trying to figure him out since they were Junin and Genin. If you're thinking Asuma, that Naruto isn't as tough as you or as experienced as you in battle, you're quite wrong. I believe Asuma, that a little word about Naruto is in order here, if you want to hear. Kakashi took the silent as an authorization for him to start talking. Apart from keeping the Kyuubi trapped inside his body, which I believe that itself it's a feat to be remembered, but he also had to take all Konoha's pain and loss from the Kyuubi battle only to him for his own life. All his life he was hated for something he didn't do or ask to bear. So, on his 10th birthday, when he was running away from a mob of villagers and chunins, he ended up falling and was beat quite a lot. For no reason at all, he started to smile at the mob of villagers. Naruto was covered in blood all over his body, but he just offered the crowd one of the sweetest kid smiles I've ever seen, hoping that they would let him go, and surprisingly it worked. I know that because I was the one who took him to the hospital on that day. Since then, Naruto kept his smile mask as a way to divert attention from what he carries inside him, hoping that the crowd would just let go. When Naruto left for a training trip with Jiraiya-sama, he took off his mask and started crying for a whole month, from so much bottled emotions inside of him. When he arrived, everyone that knew him could see that something was supposedly wrong with him, because of his new face of determination and seriousness way beyond his age experience. After some time, when he managed to capture Sasuke and got him back, I don't know if you believe or not, but the council wanted to strip Naruto from his ninja rank, since they thought that Naruto wanted to kill Sasuke, said Kakashi, seeing the wide-eyed expression on Asuma, who happened not to know about that. Asuma never stopped to see the mystery that was the Uzumaki Naruto. If what Kakashi said was true, then Naruto did have a tough life growing up. Asuma's pride was clouding his judgment on the boy, and he was surprised to see that even though how much he's done to Konoha, nobody recognizes him as the village's savior. Asuma was fuming at what he could shiver at the life of deception and treason that the blonde endured, and even though he rescued the last Uchiha, the council used it as an excuse to frame him and kill him. Asuma interrupted his thoughts as Kakashi cleared his throat and began talking again. Because of such deception through his life, Naruto used the Hokage dream as also one kind of mask, so everyone would question his dream and he would prove them wrong. Naruto became ANBU after returning with Sasuke, with a simple wish. Protect Konoha behind the curtains. He want to aid Konoha, not at all caring about names or legends, and that's saying much from who his father was, said Kakashi, earning a sad smile from Asuma, while remembering about the Sandaime Hokage and himself growing wanting to be acknowledged in life, and Naruto was all alone in life. Kakashi, listen, I know that the kid had a tough life and I didn't know about the whole Sasuke thing, but the thing is, even though Kurenai and I dated, I could always see confusion and sadness through her eyes, and I thought I could change that for her. But now that I knew why she was like that, it was because of Naruto, and it pains me to see that Naruto was the one to help her, whispered Asuma, now feeling jealous at the blonde for being the one who was there for the red-eyed beauty. That's Naruto for you, Asuma. No matter what he does or how he does, he always ends help change everyone's heart for the better. Even though he no longer is the same as before, he managed to help people. I heard from Jiraiya about Naruto's training trip as he helped a group of little orphans in Kumo when he took his Chunin exams there. He is no longer a boy, he is a man. A man who embraced his destiny, a man who embraced his burden, a man who shall protect Konoha with everything he had, said Kakashi, finishing the short version of Naruto's life until now, to which Asuma calmed down and decided to go to sleep. I think I'll leave now, Kakashi. A little sleep may calm my nerves, said Asuma, leaving without wanting to hear Kakashi even if he wanted to say anything. On the next day, Asuma got out of his apartment and went to his team's training ground. When he felt a strong presence coming near him in a blur, focusing more chakra, he was able to spot the one foe he was looking forward to settle some accounts with. Upon making his decision, Asuma started to follow him in order to confront him. Asuma's pride was getting in the way of rationality once again, even if did remember Kakashi's little story about the blonde. He only considered Kurenai a trophy or an instrument of conquer now, and his warrior side would as hell win the trophy. Suddenly, Naruto just stopped on the next building and watched Asuma passing by him in a quick blur. When Asuma realized what happened, Naruto was waiting for him on top of the building he stopped before. Asuma was pissed. He was lost in wonderings, and his opponent figured it out sooner than expected. Asuma wanted to go to a place that didn't bring attention so that they could settle some things. When Asuma landed on the building, he turned to stare at Naruto for a bit, studying his reactions. But so far he couldn't see any emotions on the blonde's hidden face, even his eyes were emotionless. Just who was this kid? Not even Itachi had such emotionless face. For a while, Asuma continued to study the blonde's face, but to no avail. It seemed that the one in front of him was a mindless clone, one without feelings, without hot blood running down his veins. Asuma never faced an opponent like this before. Because of Naruto's zero display of emotions, Asuma couldn't tell when he would attack, where or how. Asuma was afraid of such a guy. The possibilities were endless. From Naruto's part, he continued to stare at Asuma with emotionless face. Such face was actually hilarious to the blonde. Whoever the enemy was, they always became hesitant upon seeing him like this. Naruto didn't know what Asuma wanted with him. He sighed knowing that he would reach ANBU HQ early. Even though he still had some time left, he didn't want to waste his time with the bearded Junin. Naruto's instincts were on and he somehow thought that Asuma wouldn't come all the way here just to say hello. Somehow, Naruto figured that the Junin was upset about something and deep inside his guts, he knew what it was, since he thought of the possibility of doing the same thing to Asuma in a desperate way to win Kurenai's heart. But back then what stopped him was the fact that Kurenai appeared to be happy with Asuma, so he threw the idea off the window. Now, Naruto was looking up to what could be him if Kurenai hadn't appeared near the lake that day. Back to Asuma, his attempts of studying reactions were almost over, when he saw the blue eyes of his opponent appear, letting Asuma know that the ANBU wasn't insane or lost his mind while serving with ANBU. So he decided that to have a little conversation with the teenager, show who's the grown-up here. Oh so wrong he would be after it, but now he was overconfident. So, Black Wolf, what's with the hurry? Said Asuma, leading the conversation. Late for work, you know how it is, answered Naruto, not saying what Asuma wanted, like showing some guts to the bearded shinobi or trying to attack. No, Asuma very well expected that an ANBU wouldn't fall for treat talks. Huh, I do. Actually sounding like a man, but still you has to take off the diapers, kid, said Asuma, smirking from putting the ANBU down like he would berate Shikamaru or Choji, being these two his students, but such attempt was to no avail. It's never wise to underestimate anyone, Asuma-san, so why don't you cut the crap and tell me why you were following me in the first place? Said Naruto, keeping his cool, actually sounding like Kakashi's coolness, who by the way was watching Asuma and Naruto's little confrontation, since he knew that Asuma wouldn't let go. Kakashi was right about following Asuma to see if he would like to settle things with his ex-student. He already went on a couple of missions with Asuma and he already figured Asuma as a pride general, never admitting his defeat towards the enemy. Now Asuma is facing the most unpredictable opponent in Konoha, Uzumaki Naruto. None even Kakashi could see what Naruto's all-out mean, since when Naruto was a genin, he wore that stupid emotional mask, hindering his actual skills and Kakashi knew that Naruto's test to get in ANBU was only a percentage of his abilities. But he wasn't concerned with the outcome of Asuma and Naruto's battle, since these two are the strongest wind users in Konoha, well they are the only wind user in Konoha. Back to the little argument, Asuma was getting quite irritated with the blonde opponent, his little psychological threat was not working on the supposed inexperienced ANBU. Quite on the contrary, Naruto remained stoic as ever, since he decided not to waste his brain on empty threats of a fellow shinobi, much to Asuma's light anger and Kakashi's smirk, since he figured ANBU training actually does that to people. So, quite tough you are, Black Wolf, or should I say Uzumaki Naruto, said Asuma, as a last resort. He knew that ANBU were picky on hiding their identities, since they were in theory dangerous to foreign shinobi and could be an extreme liability if the enemy knew the ANBU's identity. Upon hearing this, Kakashi closed his book and slapped his hand at his headband, cursing Asuma's ridiculous plot. If it were him, he would be sent to Ibiki for questioning, since that was ANBU protocol and he was afraid Naruto would do just that. But upon seeing the ANBU's reaction, Kakashi was relieved a little bit. Naruto wouldn't do anything, that much was certain, well at least if Asuma doesn't attack him there is. Asuma-san, you said you are a grown-up. Yeah, a Junin, but with that ridiculously stupid attempt of yours to make me angry just shows how ill-equipped you are to handle a real life-threatening situation. Frankly I would say that a regular chunin could have a better result than you did, don't you think? That did it. To say that Asuma was angry would be an understatement, he was very pissed. Who the hell does this midget thinks he is? I'll show him. Ah Naruto, now you pissed him off. Now let's see if you have the abilities to back your words, said Kakashi already with his Sharingan active in preparation to see the fight. With chakra enhanced feet, Asuma vanished and appeared in front of the ANBU with the intent to strike him, but to no avail since Naruto already shunshined out of the way before Asuma could swing his wind-enhanced trench knife. When Asuma turned his back, he saw the ANBU staring at him with sad eyes, much to the surprise of Asuma and Kakashi. Tears were dropping on the black mask as if suddenly the weight of being in ANBU suddenly got a hold into his sanity. "Is that sadness I see in your eyes, Black Wolf?" asked Asuma in confusion. "Yes, it is. Sadness because the fact that I know the reason why you're doing this. It's about Kurenai-chan, isn't it?" asked Naruto, to which Asuma was taken aback by it. Naruto was sad with such display of emotion and Kakashi sighed, knowing why Naruto was crying. Since Naruto returned from retrieving Sasuke, Kakashi figured Naruto would threat the bearded shinobi, quite like he was threatening Naruto right now, and the thought of doing something like this actually disgusted Naruto. To think that Kurenai was a trophy to be won after a battle was disgusting, and he would damn well show that to Asuma. "Asuma, if you think that Kurenai-chan is just a prize for you to win after the battle, I can already tell you, I lost all respect for you," said Naruto, now showing his signature feral grin that managed to stop Asuma from trying anything to Naruto. Naruto was showing a mix between sadness and anger, because of the Junin's actions. "If you wanted to fight with me as a way of testing your skills, trust me, I would be glad to spar with you, Asuma, but seeing that all you care about Kurenai-chan, as a goddamn trophy for you to win in case you even win this battle, I can tell in advance, you already lost it. You see, when I arrived from my training trip with Jiraiya-sama, I was devastated upon seeing you with her, but then I figured she was happy, so I thought that you were a great shinobi that would be able to offer her protection and love, but seeing that all you wanted was to hold her as a trophy, I can say with all certainty, you stink as a human being," said Naruto, now with his feral grin at maximum, not only making Asuma shiver but also Kakashi was not feeling so well, since he didn't remember seeing that much killing intent in a long time. "That's lot of bold words, kid, face me then and show me that I'm wrong," said Asuma, getting free from Naruto's killing intent as well as throwing one of his knives with K's chakra at Naruto. Upon seeing the knife approaching, Naruto took off his katana and cut the knife in half with his K's katana with an extreme swiping motion. Asuma, with a backup plan, raced at Naruto with his other knife, using Naruto's momentarily time dealing with the first knife and put the other on Naruto's neck, thinking he won the battle. "Yield, kid, I won," said Asuma, smirking, never taking the time to notice that Naruto was with his free hands, holding a Fuden Rasengan inches from Asuma's stomach. "If I were you, Asuma-san, I would not say something like that and instead look down for a bit," said Naruto, leaving a confused Asuma and a wide-eyed Kakashi who only managed to see Naruto's Rasengan because of the Sharingan. "What? Look, do," it was all Asuma could say, before he looked down to see the spiral ball surrounded by K's chakra inches from his stomach, which would kill him instantly. Upon seeing this, Asuma turned to see Naruto's eyes and gasped with fear. Those were the eyes that made Naruto famous around Konoha as well as the enemies that survived his encounter. "Asuma-san, I don't want you to be mad at me, for as I didn't do anything to deserve such a thing. As to Kurenai-chan, she is no trophy to be won after a battle. I love her deep down my heart and she chose the one to whom her heart belonged. Hell, when I arrived, I figured that she would choose you, seeing that you're together, and I would never mess with that, since I know that the heart of someone isn't won by competition," said Naruto, now showing his blue eyes but never dropping the Rasengan until Asuma surrendered. "It's hard for me to lose again, kid. But I can see that you're much stronger than me. At first, it was about Kurenai, but now I wanted to see just how strong you were, and I can see you grown a lot. I'm very sorry, Naruto, about what I did. Kakashi did tell awfully a lot of nice things about you. I guess I never got to know you like everybody else did. Don't worry about this fool before your eyes. Now, I want to see the face of my opponent, if you would grant me this wish," said Asuma, now feeling like a heavy burden just came out, and he, like everyone that Naruto came to encounter, was invigorated. Upon hearing the bearded shinobi's request, Naruto nodded and took off his mask, showing his features to the bearded shinobi, much to Asuma's utter shock. Naruto was literally Minato's clone, and he showed the eyes of an experienced warrior, one that Konoha was, is and will be very proud of the once hyperactive knucklehead ninja Uzumaki Naruto. "I can see that you're strong, Naruto, and don't worry about me anymore. I'm not going to disturb you anymore with this issue," said Asuma, already turning to leave but stopped when Naruto spoke. Asuma-san, as I said before, if you want to fight as a way of testing your skills, I'll be glad and honored to, said Naruto with his foxy grin. Huh, don't get kid, just because you won this fight, doesn't mean you'll win the next round. I'll be waiting for it then, Asuma-san, said Naruto, before putting back his mask and leaving to ANBU HQ. Meanwhile, Kakashi couldn't be more proud of his student. Not only Naruto beat Asuma by performing one of the quickest Rasengans Kakashi has ever seen, but managed to take Asuma off his thoughts as Konoha's stuck-up general who never lost a fight. Kakashi turned to read his book again, when suddenly he addressed to another audience that was watching as well. You were watching as well, Yugo-san, said Kakashi, never turning to see the cat ANBU. Kakashi-senpai, Hawk told me to go look for Black Wolf, so I came to look for him and found him here. I can see now what Kurenai-chan saw in him. He has a little bit of everything. Now that I finally saw what Black Wolf looks like, I can say that Kurenai-chan is very lucky to have a guy like Uzumaki Naruto. Said Cat, earning wide eyes by Kakashi, but then a mischievous smile was noticeable. Jealous, aren't you, Yugo-san? Just what would Hayate say if he knew about it? Teased Kakashi a little bit, earning a little blush of embarrassment from the cat-masked ANBU. Don't speak nonsense, senpai. I love Hayate, but I can see why Kurenai likes Naruto so much, and I can say that they are perfect for each other. Well, senpai, I have to go back to HQ. Black Wolf must be there already and Hawk-san must be looking for me, said Cat, almost leaving. Right. Say hi to Hawk for me, would you? Also, I heard that Hawk and Black Wolf made a little rivalry in ANBU, is that right? Actually, it is. Naruto and Hawk are very good friends and equally strong. When they train together, the windows in ANBU HQ always shatter and they vanish before taking responsibility for the damage. The chief knows that, but he chose to stay silent, figuring that's how the strongest ANBU in the force trains, said Cat, sending an audible laugh at Kakashi, who laughed as well, upon remembering Hawk when he was ANBU captain. Okay, see you, Yugo-san. After that, Kakashi went to reading his book in private, while Yugo was racing towards the ANBU HQ, trying to beat Black Wolf there, but set it aside, figuring he would be already there, seeing that he left about 10 minutes ago. While rushing through the buildings, Yugo was remembering what Black Wolf looked like without the mask, and she had to admit that the blonde was indeed good-looking, very experienced, and an actual splitting image of the deceased Yondaime Hokage. Thinking now about Kakashi's little comment, Yugo couldn't help but feel ashamed in her head about thinking of betraying Hayate like that. No, Naruto is Kurenai's boyfriend. Naruto and Kurenai. Damn it, such perverted thoughts again. What's wrong with me? Ever since Kurenai told me how they got together, I couldn't help but imagine the scene every time on my head. She was losing her mind so much that she didn't even notice that she was already inside ANBU HQ when she lifted her head and saw the one that was passing through her mind constantly, Black Wolf. Now seeing Naruto with his mask on, she was relieved. She was afraid of seeing him and start imagining him and Kurenai together and get in the way of their squad's missions together. Now, Black Wolf and Cat were in the same squad, along with Bear and Hawk as the squad leader. But since Naruto was a Chunin, he would have to take the ANBU Junin exams shortly, not that he wasn't already elite Junin level, this was just pure formalities. Upon seeing Cat arrive in Wonderings, Hawk only sighed, since he sent her to see if Black Wolf was alright, but just when she left, Black Wolf arrived and ironically it was now Cat that was late. Cat, where were you? Black Wolf has arrived 10 minutes ago, said Hawk in a chief sort of speaking. Sorry sir. I bumped into Kakashi-senpai and we ended up talking about some aspects. I lost the flow of time, it won't happen again, Hawk Taicho, said Cat, with an army salute manner, grasping in fear of knowing that Black Wolf was staring at her suspiciously. At ease, Cat. All right Squad 3, wait right here. I'm going to assess the chief for a mission for us. With that said, Hawk vanished in a swirl of leaves, leaving Bear to stare at nothing with his arms crossed and Black Wolf to turn and approach Cat, much to her dismay, since she didn't want to talk to him when she was getting perverted images. So, Cat, my suspicions were correct. It was in fact you there with Kakashi-sensei on that tree, looking at me and Asuma-san, said Black Wolf, earning a little shock coming from Yugo. How did you know it was me with Kakashi-senpai? said Yugo, taken aback at the accurate sense of awareness displayed by her teammate. At first I didn't. I was only able to hear someone whispering somewhere, so I channeled chakra through my ear and managed to hear you and Kakashi-sensei's voice. Now, tell me, what were you doing there? Said Black Wolf, wanting to know the motive behind the little stalking from the cat-masked ANBU. Hawk Taicho asked me to see what happened to you, figuring you're always the first one to arrive at ANBU HQ, that's all, Black Wolf-san, said Yugo in a polite manner, since she hadn't met him personally. Oh, I apologize about the interrogatory part, Cat-san, I guess I was just curious, that's all, said Naruto, not wanting to press the matter further, but he knew that his teammate saw his face and he was again curious as to why she didn't say anything but let it slide. It's all right. Tell me, Black Wolf, if you don't mind me asking, why don't you take off your mask inside the ANBU HQ? Your identity wouldn't be harmed in any way, right? Asked Yugo, to which Naruto lowered his head, since he didn't have such a luxury. Quite the contrary, Cat-san. I'm sure you saw my face back there and I'm well sure you know of what I carry inside of me. Another point is that fellow ANBUs lost a lot of their families because of it. What would you think they would do if they found out who I am? Said Naruto, surprisingly, demonstrating zero emotion upon his usually sad statement. You think people still judge you for it? Said Yugo, taken aback by what the black-masked ANBU said about still being guilty by what happened almost 2 decades ago. It would be foolish not to think so, when you spent your whole life being looked down upon by almost everyone in the village, including some shinobis as well, Cat-san. Because of that, I only take off my mask when I'm guaranteed not to run into someone that doesn't judge me because of it. It maybe sound as a pursuit complex, as I'm sure you must think about me like that. But I got plenty of reasons not so show myself the same way as the others do, said Naruto, as he turned his back at Yugo, since he sensed Hawk returning from the chief's office. Well, at least our squad should know about this, don't they? Hawk is my best friend here in ANBU and Bear was the one that made my assignment interview, so he knows as well. With you now seeing it, all the squad knows about it. Well, okay then, sighed Yugo in defeat. After a while, Hawk arrived with an A-ranked mission scroll that happened to be an investigation mission for tonight. It seemed that around the south region of Konoha, there have been strange reports of an old mansion being cursed, since the ones who entered never got out, so the Hokage thought best and sent Squad 3 to go check it out. Upon arrival inside the house, Bear suddenly felt a chill ran up his spine, when seeing what was inside the house. Inside, they were core lying on the ground motionless, bleeding all over the place. Squad 3 surveyed the area up to a place when Hawk's eyes came in contact with a mirror that somehow was reflecting a different image of their surroundings. As anyone would have guessed, Hawk thought that was a genjutsu casted all around the place by some ninja who wanted to scare everyone. With Black Wolf and Ace, the wolf was sniffing around. Black Wolf and Ace, just like Hawk, were suspicious of a genjutsu, but this genjutsu was somehow different from a normal one. Ace could very well sense a huge amount of chakra being used and he concluded that not even Naruto had that amount of chakra, who could only be a summon animal or even a demon. Black Wolf, can you sense the amount of chakra being used here? It's like someone wasn't eager to have visitors at all, said Ace, to which Naruto retorted. I can sense the presence, but not the amount of chakra being used like you, Ace, but somehow it looks like in order to dispel the genjutsu here, the dispel technique would have a similar amount of chakra in order to fully cancel it, and we can see who or what's causing this, said Naruto as he was reading the drawings on the wall and thinking. After some time, Squad 3 surveyed the second and last floor of the mansion, coming near a rather big scroll displayed inside on the master rooms of the mansion. When Kat did her last step, a huge roar could be heard and the squad knew it came from the scroll. What are the chances of this contract being a summon contract and the boss animal just doesn't want any visitors? I once read the story about the wolf boss directly before Fenrir-sama saying that he as well didn't want any visitors, so he hid the contract inside a cave and protected it with his life, until Fenrir-sama came and took his place as wolf boss, explained Ace. Well, in that case, all we have to do is to burn the scroll and release this stupid mass genjutsu, said Black Wolf. Step aside, Bear and Cat. Black Wolf, joint attack number 1, Kaden Fuden combination. Right on it, Hawk Taicho, said Naruto with enthusiasm as he was once again working with alongside his friend and rival. Fuden Daitapa, Wind Style. Great Breakthrough Jutsu. Kaden Guyakyu no Jutsu, Fire Style. Great Fireball Jutsu. What could be described as a loud explosion, it was heard from Hawk's fireball in conjunction to Black Wolf's gust of wind, making the fireball grow in size and power. The results were visible and a huge hole behind the scroll could be seen, turning the scroll to ashes. Upon seeing that, Tsunade, while walking beside the haunted mission to see if the ANBU squad would solve the problem, suddenly saw the huge hole on the top and Squad 3 appearing. She sighed thinking that they went a little bit overboard but at least managed to solve the problem, completing the assignment. After seeing the Hokage staring at them, the ANBU team jumped and kneeled in front of her, letting her know that the mission was complete. Upon seeing Black Wolf's mask, she smiled and greeted the team for a job well done. So Hawk-san, good job on the mission, but couldn't your team be a little less noisy? I believe the entire city heard the explosion created, said Tsunade rubbing her head, wanting to send the bill for them to pay, again. Since Naruto entered the ANBU, there has been numerous requests for window repairs from inside ANBU HQ and somehow she figured that Naruto would have a part in it, while training. Our apologies, Hokage-sama, it's just that Black Wolf and I used our combination in order to eliminate the threat as soon as possible. Actually the summon contract held a giant lizard that just got in our way and we had to destroy it. Said Hawk. I'm sorry, but I heard you say that you and Black Wolf used your combination, what's up with that? Asked Tsunade intrigued, cause she never heard of ANBUs and combinated ninjutsu attacks. Certainly, Hokage-sama. Black Wolf and I have been coming with combined attacks in order to maximize the power of our jutsus. For instance, what you witnessed was a mix of mine Kaden Goyakyu no Jutsu and Black Wolf's Fuden Daitapa. Together, the gust of wind literally doubled the fireball and the results, well you witnessed firsthand. I certainly did, so is half of Konoha. Well, good job, congratulations. Now dismissed, said Tsunade, before seeing different kinds of shunshin performed by the members of the team. Hawk did the Ho Shunshin no Jutsu, Fire Style. Body Flicker Jutsu, Black Wolf did the Fuden Shunshin no Jutsu, Cat made a regular Shunshin and Bear used the Doden Shunshin no Jutsu, Earth Style. Body Flicker Jutsu. Tsunade walked then to her home to rest. She thought about how Naruto's ANBU team handled their missions and considered a little commendation was in order for them. Since Kakashi and Itachi's team, no other team was so successful in missions and she was proud of the fact that Naruto belonged to that team and not only that but also the fact that he and Hawk could destroy an entire army with their combined jutsus. I can see why Kurenai had fallen for you, Naruto. You are quite a guy indeed. Oh if I was younger, sighed Tsunade, actually started to become jealous of the Genjutsu mistress. After Naruto settled his way with Asuma, he was flying to the ANBU HQ in record time and Ace had just reached up to him. At the Uchiha compound, Sasuke was cursing his luck. It has been a year since Naruto almost killed him with his wind shuriken jutsu and he still had scars around his chest. Sasuke was pissed by the fact that Naruto beat him, even though he was on his curse seal level 2. He was remembering that little chopper jutsu of Naruto's, dragging him to the center of the slicing tornado and he couldn't move. When Naruto landed the strike, he was cut so badly, he thought he was going to die, but something was not right with the Naruto he thought. He couldn't see the dead last, the always smiling person, it was like someone else. 1 week after he was saved by Tsunade, Sakura wanted to punish Naruto for trying to kill her Sasuke-kun, and he was angry towards Sakura, because even though Sasuke saw Naruto as his rival, he also saw him as the only one who could understand his pain, he was the only one that could save him from the delusional power of Orochimaru. But Sasuke couldn't find the blonde, anywhere, it seemed like he vanished from Konoha. He went to talk to Tsunade about where was Naruto and all she said is that Naruto was no longer a part of Konoha's normal shinobi program. Tsunade decided not to punish Sasuke in a severe way, even though he didn't come back by his own will. It was Naruto who nearly killed him and brought him back. Sasuke eventually changed to Chunin right after his return and now was listed with a new team of Chunins under the tutelage of a Junin named Yamashiro Aoba. Tsunade made Sasuke swear on the Uchiha's name that he would no longer run away and he said to her that since Naruto became so strong, he thought about it and realized that the village could be strong after all. When the answer came, Sasuke was taken aback. Uchiha. Sure, the village raises damn strong shinobis, but Naruto trained on his own to get where he is now. After he discovered his affinities, all he did for a while was going to the library and to the training ground to train until exhaustion appeared. After a while, Sasuke convinced Anko to help him control the curse seal up to the point that he, with the help of a fuinjutsu casted by Kakashi, the only thing he needed to do was keep his emotions in check when in a mission. Nowadays, he was living a normal shinobi life in Konoha, doing some missions and training his Raiden and Kaden affinity. Sakura couldn't leave him alone for more than 10 minutes, and this was starting to piss him off to no end. He never liked her. He still remembered Team 7 and her asking him for a date countless times. Sure, Sasuke intended to revive his clan at all costs, but he should as well find someone who liked him as well as he liked her. Also, it had to be a strong kunoichi. Right now, he was at the Uchiha main garden, just staring at the sky when his Sharingan eyes caught two signatures coming his way really fast. When they passed flying through his yard, all that Sasuke could see was a black masked ANBU and a big wolf with a leaf Hittite. Even though the ANBU was blonde, Sasuke dismissed the idea of Naruto entering ANBU, but then again what Tsunade told him would have made sense. Normal shinobi program would be genins, chunins and junins, but ANBU were special, they were a part of military and he couldn't believe that Naruto joined the ANBU. Just how strong he became and how fast are he now. Sasuke somewhat couldn't figure out how Naruto improved in a short period of time, but little did he know that the Naruto he knew would never appear again, since that one was an emotional mask, in order to call attention to him. Sasuke, due to his pride, couldn't afford to lose to the once dead last Naruto, but something was different between ANBU Naruto and his teammate back when they were Team 7. First, was the fact that his eyes never bothered to look down and notice Sasuke, which would normally enrage him, since he didn't like being ignored. Second was that wolf next to him. Sasuke was wondering if the wolf was Naruto's summon or some sort of partner like Kiba's Akamaru. What happened to you, Dobi? Just who are you and where is that idiot, who kept screwing everything up? All these thoughts kept circulating his mind like chakra inside of a Rasengan. Worst was that Sasuke couldn't come up with an answer to these questions, he wanted them answered so to see how he became strong like he did. Sasuke was thinking about to whom he could ask about Naruto when suddenly he remembered about Team 7's sensei, Hatake Kakashi. Just when he was about to leave the compound, a pink-haired Chunin appeared, being a pain in the Sasuke's line of thinking. Hi, Sasuke-kun. Want to have lunch with me? Asked Sakura, genuinely oblivious to the fact that Sasuke preferred to be on the end of Itachi's Mangenkyu Tsukiyomi than actually saying yes to a date with her. No, Sakura, I'm busy at the moment. Sasuke just didn't want to talk with her. He was 2 steps of putting some senses into her mind, in a way that she stopped talking to him like wanting to go out with him. He didn't like her. Although Sakura was a persistent woman. Why don't you go out with me, Sasuke-kun? I'm buying, pleaded Sakura, enraging Sasuke to his very soul, but since Anko and Kakashi practically drilled on his head to control his emotions, so he had to cut this short. Sakura, I'm asking you, please, stop pursuing me all over the place. Go find someone else. I can't stand you asking me again. Would you? Asked Sasuke, trying to sound as normal as he could, before seeing Sakura look towards the ground in shame and walk away. After that, Sasuke went to search Kakashi. He went to his home, but couldn't find him. He went to the bookstore where his old sensei's perverted mind would normally lead him to, but nothing. After quitting the search, Sasuke caught a glimpse of his old sensei just passing by with Sasuke's new sensei Aoba, and they were gossiping a little bit, remembering old times. Out of the blur, Sasuke in a Chunin outfit appeared, starting a conversation with the 2 Junins. Kakashi, I need to ask you about Naruto, asked Sasuke, making the lazy Junin divert his look and gauge Sasuke's intention for wanting to hear about Naruto. Ah, Sasuke, what do you want to know about Naruto? Kakashi answered, already suspicious of his old student's intentions. Aoba for his part was pondering on who the hell was this guy Sasuke was talking about. Naruto. Tell me, Sasuke, who is this Naruto? Uzumaki Naruto. Aoba sensei. Answered Sasuke, shifting his eyes towards his new sensei and then shifted back to his old sensei in search for answers. Why you want to know, Sasuke? Oh, and most important. Why now? asked Kakashi while trying to see his old student's intentions. I think I saw him flying by my house today with a wolf on his side and he was wearing an ANBU uniform. Tell me what happened to him? Asked Sasuke, not telling the entire truth, since he didn't know that it was Naruto or not. Humph. Okay. Then, I'll tell about Naruto for the two of you, but Sasuke, I assure you that the Naruto you meet wasn't the real one. You see, before he left Konoha in order to train with Jiraiya-sama, his face and attitudes were what you can call an emotional mask, a cover-up of himself. Naruto was alone his entire life and wanted to call some attention to himself. Seeing that no one gave him what he looked for, his mask was taken off and the true one appeared. Now, determined as he is, he vowed to train to exhaustion, in order to grow in the paths of a shinobi and be of service to Konoha and his precious people. I can tell you guys that he is already Junin level according to a friend of mine in ANBU, and I can very well guarantee that his techniques improved to a whole new level. The reason why he joined ANBU, well, no one can answer him other than himself, I'm afraid, said Kakashi, just waiting for them to sink the new information. Sasuke for his part smirked, knowing that he knew about Naruto's mask, but he paid no attention to it, since he wasn't fond of the idea of hiding his abilities. But now that Sasuke was back in Konoha, he would find his way just like the Dobi did. He was thinking among the lines of a hunter nin, since he would have the freedom and be able to revive his clan when the time was right. But he thought now that he knew next to nothing about this new Naruto, since he already knew him with the mask on. So, if you could point some characteristics similar between the old and the new Naruto, what would that be? Asked Sasuke, though Kakashi already tried to ask that question himself but to no avail. I can't do that, since I can't think of any. Now excuse me, guys, but I have some things to take care of. With that said, Kakashi vanished with that smile of his, leaving Aoba and Sasuke wondering about Naruto's little history. At Team 8's training ground, Kurenai was jumping from rooftops to rooftops, hoping to arrive not so late, but her thoughts were directed to her beloved blonde. She couldn't stop thinking about the way he looked at her eyes, like he owned everything. In fact, that look of his was what turned her on the most. Kurenai was the submissive kind of woman, so her ideal man would be a dominant type, and so far Naruto's look was enough for her to literally melt on his couch. Kurenai described it as a mix of deep blue with feral yellow eyes, something she never saw before, and it was so damn hot. She was wondering how he could show such purity in his deep blue eyes and then display such feral yellow eyes, just like a night wolf. She felt slight pity for his enemies, but she never felt his killing intent before, not that she wanted to anytime soon. Just by remembering his look, made her crumble inside, but she shook it off, in order to arrive at the training ground. She was just hoping to see it again on their date tonight. Oh my god, I hope neither of us has any missions, I'd really like to go out with him again. After 20 minutes late, she arrived at Team 8's training ground, only to see Kiba and Shino doing some spar and Hinata watching the two of them. Gomenasai, sorry everyone, I see you guys are already training a little bit, said Kurenai, smiling while scratching her head hoping for an excuse to appear. Kurenai-sensei, you're late, you're never late, asked Kiba, smelling something wrong in the air, which if he were somewhat older or at least had found a girl to be with, couldn't know that Kurenai was in fact releasing some pheromones in anticipation to her date with Naruto. Oh, I met an acquaintance of mine and I lost track of time a little bit, don't worry about it, said Kurenai, hoping to fool her students a little bit. She didn't want them to know that she was slightly aroused at her night with the blonde ANBU. Oh, okay, come on Shino, let's continue, said Kiba, receiving a nod from Shino, who by the way knew about Kurenai's pheromones from his Kikai bugs. Hinata for her part smirked, knowing about Kurenai and the black-masked ANBU, deciding to tease her sensei while also hoping on some story as well. So, Kurenai-sensei, tell me, how was it? Asked Hinata, seeing some blush appearing on her face. What do you mean, Hinata? Asked Kurenai, though she couldn't keep off the blushing any longer. Quite the contrary, as she was relieving the images, she had to cast a quick genjutsu to hide her blood-blushed face from everyone who could conclude easily what happened. Kurenai-sensei, I may be young but I know that face expression anywhere, said Hinata, earning a sigh from her sensei. Is it that obvious? You don't need to hide, Kurenai-sensei, it's all right. he grew so much these days that none of us would be able to recognize him anymore. In fact, I believe no one ever knew him, if what you said about his emotional mask the entire time. I bet not even Iruka-sensei and his old teammates knew him, said Hinata, receiving nods from her sensei, who was thinking among the same lines and also thinking about who would know the real him, other than her. Well, Jiraiya-sama got to see the real him on their training trip. Kakashi seemed to know him quite well and his ANBU team seemed to like him as well. According to Yugo-chan, her ANBU captain had taken a liking to Naruto, even up to Hawk as they call him, make a rivalry of Naruto. That's for sure. Okay, enough talk Hinata, let's begin practice. At ANBU headquarters, after the completion of Squad 3's mission, they returned to the ANBU HQ, and Naruto received a communication saying that Tsunade-sama knew about the little explosion on the haunted mansion and wanted him to fulfill another mission. Now thinking about it, Tsunade-sama never called him like that before. Whenever she wanted a mission of his squad, the ANBU chief would call them all together. Maybe it was a solo mission or a co-op mission with a Junin or a Chunin group. Naruto dismissed his thoughts, so not to get disappointed of what Tsunade wanted to say to him, but deep inside he wanted to spend some time with Kurenai, since they were going on a date tonight. At Tsunade's office, Tsunade was discussing some important aspects with the ANBU chief, when Black Wolf shunshined to her office, with some breeze to alert them of his presence. Needless to say that the low breeze ended up blowing all the paperwork scattered to the ground, earning grumbles from Tsunade who had Shizune helping her to gather the paperwork and now they had to do it again. The ANBU chief's sweat dropped at seeing a vein pop out of Tsunade's face, showing some clear bottled up anger. Was that necessary, Black Wolf? Asked the ANBU chief, watching Tsunade's eyes twitch of slight anger. My apologies, Tsunade-sama. Tenzo-sama, he became the ANBU chief after some time, I just did that so you can be aware of my presence. Forget about it Black Wolf, we have a mission of great importance you'll be performing along with an elite Junin. In fact, she was just contacted 20 minutes ago, so she should be arriving soon. This will be an A-ranked mission. You along with your co-partner will retrieve an S-ranked document made by Jiraiya, the Toad Sanin. This document is a reconnaissance and gathering information on Iwa and its meetings with Kumo. According to his message, he suspects an alliance between these two villages and since we had some mishaps with Kumo the next few days, it's safe to say that this document is of high importance. Now the reason you were called, actually it was two. First, Jiraiya requested your presence and second as there is a high possibility that enemy ninjas would try to put their hands on the document. Any questions? Actually, I have two. Why Yamato is here and what are my partner's abilities? Naruto was never known for extreme formalities and he was not so thrilled to know that he wouldn't be able to go on a date with Kurenai, but mission is a mission, so she would understand, but there wasn't reason for him not to curse his luck at this situation. But before they could answer Black Wolf's question, his partner showed up, reporting for duty. Kurenai was cursing her luck as well as Naruto for having to go on this mission, but little did she know that their date would have to be somewhere else. Actually, Kurenai was to be Black Wolf's partner on this mission and Tsunade was smiling inside. Before we ask these questions, Black Wolf, I like to introduce your partner on this mission. She is an elite Junin, expert in genjutsu and high-level reconnaissance and information gathering missions, Yui Kurenai. Actually Tsunade knew they got back together, so she planned this from the beginning, not Jiraiya wanting Naruto to be on this mission part, but his partner she could fix it. Naruto inside his mask exchanged looks with his lover for a minute, before showing a small grin behind his mask. It seemed that it wouldn't be like he thought it would be and their date was going to happen after all, but it would have to be outside of Konoha's borders and in the middle of a mission. Kurenai was thinking the exact same thing. She was at first cursing Tsunade for ruining her date with Naruto, but now that she was on a mission with him, things would be much better. Now, since Naruto didn't want to show that she was his girlfriend, he decided to introduce himself in a polite and emotionless manner, hoping that she would see the underneath of his tone. Pleasure to meet you, Yui-san. We will be teamed on this mission. Tsunade-sama was just briefing me on it. Greeted Naruto, receiving a nod from the Junin. The pleasure is all mine, ANBU-san. Kurenai wasn't Junin for nothing and she was able to see what Naruto intended when he approached to her in a formal manner. As I was saying to Black Wolf here, your mission is to retrieve an S-rank document from Jiraiya, This map here will pinpoint his location and the rendezvous point. Any communications with you and him will be through Black Wolf here, since he and Jiraiya worked together once and established a secure line of communication with each other. You are to leave in 4 hours from now and are scheduled to arrive at the location at noon tomorrow. As to your questions, Black Wolf, the reason I'm here is to discuss with Tsunade-sama about your Junin test that you'll be qualified to take. After the completion of this mission and your partner's abilities, well, Tsunade-sama has already briefed you when she arrived. Said Tenzo, perching Naruto and Kurenai's interest because of their conversation the previous day. Okay, then. Said Naruto as he and Kurenai vanished and appeared on top of the Hokage's tower. It seems that our luck improved. Naru-kun, I was just about to curse the whole world, because of our date, but now I'm going on a mission with the legendary Black Wolf of Konoha, and my boyfriend. Said Kurenai, smiling towards the blonde who said among the same lines regarding Kurenai and her Genjutsu mistress title. Then Naruto and Kurenai went each for their apartments for packing. Naruto, being an ANBU, was kind of ready for any type of mission as he packed his stuff inside a storage scroll. Kurenai for her part needed to pack, since she still had a team, even though they were all Chunin level ninja. 3 hours later, both of them met at the Dango shop for a light lunch and then head up for their mission together. At the Dango restaurant. As they entered the restaurant, both of them got to see Anko eating dangos like crazy and pouring sake like a maniac. Upon seeing that, both of them sighed. Kurenai, since she very well knew that Anko could be like that, and Naruto for his part was confirm his suspicions about the snake mistress. Hello, Anko-chan, what are you up to? Asked Kurenai, earning the woman's attention and devious smirking. Hello, Kurenai-ch. Who is your ANBU friend? Said Anko as she was checking the man out head to toe, much to Kurenai's displeasure. Oh, this is Black Wolf, we are going on a mission together. Kurenai winked to Anko, letting her know just who Black Wolf was. Much to Naruto's dismay, he appreciated his identity hidden and he saw that Kurenai's friend Anko was a former ANBU Black Ops of Assassination Squad, therefore her reputation was well known throughout ANBU HQ. Suddenly Naruto's prank side got the best of him and used a seal-less henge, changing his face appearance to test these two. It is nice seeing you again, Anko-san, how have you been? Asked Naruto, keeping as stoic as before. Okay, Black Wolf, let's go to the table on the back, so you can take away your mask and eat with us. Said Anko, to which Kurenai was worried for her boyfriend's identity. Anko-chan, I don't think that is wise idea. I began to open her mouth but was stopped by Naruto. Do not worry about my identity, Kurenai-san, let's go. When they arrived at their table, Anko was eager to see Naruto's face, since she wanted to see her friend's lover. When Black Wolf took away his mask, Anko was confused at first. On Kurenai's part, she was studying her lover's complex henge for a bit as well as giving some time for Anko to recognize it. Honey, please drop the henge, I don't think that Anko can see through that double-layered henge. Kurenai said, much to the surprise of her friend. She didn't think Naruto would be so proficient at illusion techniques. He. Kurenai-chan, I should have figured you wouldn't fall for the henge, since you already knew it was me, but I managed to work your knowledge a little bit, didn't I? Said Naruto, dropping the henge and showing his face to Anko. Anko was blushing at his looks like she wasn't in a long time. She haven't seen him in a long time and his face resembled the face of a man and a very handsome one, she wondered. From inside, she was cursing Kurenai with all her might, because of the fact that she took him all for herself. Sure, he was only 16, but when Anko saw his eyes, she immediately raised his age to at least 25 to 28. Until now, Anko had been skeptical when Kurenai told her about how his eyes gave him more experience than his actual age, but now she could see why he was known as Konoha's Black Wolf. Those eyes, even though the yellow feral grin wasn't easily noticeable, it was there and she could see it. For Kurenai it came to a surprise that Anko would drool like that for Naruto, but then again he was handsome as hell. She was actually worried that he could get a fangirl club in Konoha and she would receive death glares from them, since she was his girlfriend and everything. Now come to think about it, she was glad that Naruto was an ANBU, since they would wear a mask hiding his face from everyone. Now back to seeing her friend drooling over her boyfriend, a little piece of jealousy rushed her mind and decided to poke her friend a little bit. Anko-chan, Would you please stop drooling over my boyfriend? I'm right here, you know. What? Oh, I'm sorry, Kurenai-chan. It's just that I didn't expect him to grow this much, that's all. Said Anko, lying out on the open to both of them. She was sizing him up and just appreciating the view of such a man. It's okay, Anko-san. I didn't expect to change this much as well. You see, when I decided to change, I would figure that being an ANBU, I would see many bad things, as I heard from Kakashi-sensei, but eventually I realized that in order to become stronger and more experienced in the battlefield, the mission and my teammates was all that mattered, so I acquired a great deal of experience being an ANBU and talking to Ace. Said Naruto. Noticing that Anko didn't stop drooling over him, much to Kurenai's dismay, and Naruto was beginning to think about doing something to prevent an eventual catfight between the two of them. Ah, Naruto. Who is Ace? You've never mentioned him to me. Who is he? Kurenai actually had a feeling she knew who Ace was, but she wanted to be sure of it. Ace is my personal summon and partner on missions. Well, he is a scarred black wolf who came from the mountains of Wind Country. Said Naruto, earning some more questions. Oh, I see, so only you can summon him. Then, but why do I usually see your partner along with you even inside the village? Actually, Kurenai wanted to ask just what she and Hinata were chatting before. Was he as a summon or a partner like Akamaru? But Naruto already knew he would have to introduce Ace to Kurenai, but thought about how tough would be for him to get acquainted with anyone other than him, and that only happened since Naruto knew better than anyone Ace's situation, since he is a lone wolf, even though he now has Kurenai. To answer your question, Kurenai-chan, he is a summon, but he stays by my side like Akamaru does with Kiba, since he doesn't have anywhere to be, so he stays with me, and the reason I summon him inside the village is the fact that he is the only one who understands my lonely situation. Said Naruto, now showing his deep cerulean eyes that showed them just how much he suffered through his life, since he didn't have much people who liked him or wanted to be with him, except for Kurenai and Kakashi. What do you mean? Lonely situation? Asked Anko, beating Kurenai since she was about to ask that as well, but she only sighed and looked at her boyfriend with explanations. She was intrigued by the way Naruto said, showing such sadness in his eyes. Oh, don't get me wrong, Kurenai-chan, Anko-san, I love Kurenai-chan so much and I couldn't be happier just to be with her, but both of you know that because of my burden, I pretty much have to fight it all by myself. As you both know, never in my life I was wanted or liked by anyone, other than you, Kurenai-chan, the third Hokage, Kakashi-sensei, Jiraiya-sensei, and the Godime. Ace came to me once, while I was on a mission, and he saw in my eyes the ferocity as well as the loneliness that he as well had. So we bonded easily and he agreed to stay with me. Said Naruto with a small grin on his face at seeing the eyes of the two girls wide with little tears, Kurenai more than Anko, since Anko's situation was similar but not to that length, and Kurenai being his boyfriend. He wasn't sad by any of it, since he long ago surpassed it, but scars remains on the soul, even though that damage was entirely healed. Kurenai and Anko could see it. They now knew just how since he was born, he was controlling the one who most likely destroyed half of Konoha inside of him and keeping it from getting out. And Naruto, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were like this growing up. I can't begin to imagine what it must have been to you. And from the events that came before your entrance to ANBU, now it's no surprise as to why you changed so much. You had every right to just abandon everything. Said Kurenai, now understanding her boyfriend's painful life and the fact he came all this way. It was astonishing to watch. It's okay, Kurenai-chan, I surpassed it, but you know, scars do not only stay on your skin but on your soul as well, but as every pain, mine will vanish within time. I have no regrets of my decisions so far, and I have true companions in my life, and that's more than I can ask for. You see, one of the reasons I joined ANBU, and I think that no one knows about it, but Ace, is that I wanted to leave whatever bad happened to me behind, and being ANBU was indeed helpful for it. With missions after missions, I was beginning to let go of that past of mine and focus on the present. So Kurenai-chan, you got yourself one hell of a guy. I have to say though, I didn't expect you to be like this at all, Naruto-kun. When I saw you at the Chunin exams that time, you're very much an annoying brat who keeps saying meaningless things like wanting to become Hokage and everything, but by taking a look at you, I now see you've grown exponentially. Saying Anko, earning a proud smile from Kurenai and a strange foxy grin from Naruto, which worried her a little bit. Oh, that wasn't me, Anko-san. You see back there, I was like that only to drive attention for myself, so as trying to compensate for the fact that I didn't have any of that back then. That's why I presume it's very difficult to try and compare me now with the one back then, but believe you me when I say that the Hokage position isn't my dream, which in fact it never was. Said Naruto, to which Anko nodded. Anko indeed was trying to compare, but like Naruto said, she was having difficulties. Apart from the yellow hair and the whisker marks, he was completely different. Even his eyes were now different, which according to Anko, wouldn't ever change, but it did. His blue eyes now resembled a dark blue, instead of the clear blue ones he had as a child, and his eyes every now and again would change to pure yellow feral grin, when he displayed his killing intent technique. Kurenai-chan, we should be going, it's almost time. Right, we are going. Anko-chan, see you around and take care. As she said goodbye to the couple, Anko remained inside the restaurant lost in wonders about the couple that was in front of her. She was remembering how down Kurenai was before, and now she seemed happier than ever, as if they went back together. As to Naruto, she didn't know what to think of him. She didn't know that a person could change so much, and yet in front of her was the blonde who a few years back was a pain in the, now is an ANBU and quite a good one, from what she heard of the Black Wolf of Konoha through Yugo. Add the fact that he melted the heart of the Ice Queen of Konoha, which no one could do before. Outside Konoha's walls. Right now, Kurenai and Black Wolf were jumping from tree logs, like they were on the ground. They were heading for the rendezvous point where they would meet with the Toad Sanin near the border between the Fire Country and Rice Country. Naruto, now with his mask on, was traveling along with his girlfriend Kurenai, who by the way was looking intently at her now masked boyfriend. She was remembering the first time she saw him wearing the mask when he rescued Team 8 along with Yugo. They were traveling for a good 3 hours, before the full moon appeared, showing some stars on the sky. Seeing this, Naruto aka Black Wolf made a sign for her to go down to the ground and rest until tomorrow. Once they stopped, Naruto's Cage Bunchins prepared the location, making the tent and starting some fire for them to stay. Once that done, the Cage Bunchin went to different directions along the jungle for guard duty, since they could warn Naruto of possible threats, covering more ground than if one ninja would keep watch. When they entered the tent, Kurenai saw Naruto take off his mask and didn't lose the opportunity. She kissed him, throwing him to the ground while landing on top of him. A few minutes later, they broke the kiss only for a quick break, then after some time, they started all over again, being certain that each of them was moaning sounds of pleasure through their mouths. So do you think your Cage Bunchins will protect us, Naruto-kun? This area can be quite dangerous, and possibly packed with enemies. Asked Kurenai, just waiting for a clear signal for her to launch in his neck and start licking it. Do not worry, Kurenai-hime, I've already performed co-op strategies with the Cage Bunchins, so they should be alright. After all, when one is dispelled, his memory comes to me, so I can figure out that an enemy is close. Answered Naruto, taking off his ANBU vest and his mask as well as putting them near, so that he can be comfortable alongside his lover. Oh, in that case, I wouldn't mind falling asleep on your chest, Naru-kun, whispered Kurenai, passing her fingers throughout his chest. A few miles away, close to the rendezvous point. A few miles away from Naruto and Kurenai's tent, 8 Kumo Junins were waiting for Konoha's ANBU Black Wolf to come and meet Jiraiya, and fall for the ambush they prepared. It was a work of right by one of the Kumo shinobis, and they fooled Konoha by falsifying the Sanin's signature, informing them to send ANBU Black Wolf here to meet the Toad Sanin. They would just surround the black masked ANBU, since according to their intel, he came pretty much alone, which meant that the odds would be against the black masked ANBU. Kumo already placed the Black Wolf Konoha ANBU as a B-rank shinobi on their bingo book, and that represented order to kill on sight. Seeing that Kumo had already lost 20 high-ranked shinobis to the masked ANBU, he sent a small army of mid-level Junins to deal with the new threat, by killing him and sending his head to Konoha, sending a clear message to not mess with Kumo. Yeah, Naruto was quite famous around Kumo's shinobi, since everyone from rank Chunin or above was aware of Black Wolf's ability in taijutsu, ninjutsu, genjutsu and kenjutsu, and frankly no one wanted to take him alone. Well, most Chunin and low-level Junin. The rest were too stubborn to realize that they weren't strong enough to deal with him. On the next day, Black Wolf and Kurenai were traveling faster now in order to reach the rendezvous point, but Naruto was worried, since normally either Gamakichi or Gamatatsu would appear and say that Jiraiya would be meeting with them. Now thinking, Naruto was expecting one toad summon quite a while ago and the latter hadn't come yet, worrying him to any sort of traps being planned by enemy shinobi. Even if Konoha had a bulletproof document analysis system, if the enemy were to possess knowledge in Fuinjutsu, Konoha would be easily fooled and send him in a suicide mission by mistake. Knowing that was better not to gamble the mission, one for Konoha and two for Kurenai, he immediately summoned two cage buncheons and hanged them into Kurenai and himself. The reason was to send the cage buncheons, not only fooling the enemy, but also learning their position and where to strike. Kurenai, upon seeing the technique, were interested as to what Naruto was thinking. Black Wolf, why the cage buncheons were hanged into us? Asked Kurenai, seeing the serious face on his boyfriend's face expression. Something's off. Kurenai Heim, if Jiraiya were to wait for us, by now, he should have sent a toad summon to locate us and brief his precise location. I don't know, something is not right. These two will scout the area out for us. We are approximately 10 miles near the supposed rendezvous point. If my guess is correct, my hanged cage buncheons are going to be surrounded by enemy ninjas. Explained Naruto, worrying his girlfriend. Are you sure, Black Wolf? I mean, if what you're saying is true, then the letter sent by Jiraiya was false. Yeah, even though Konoha's system is almost 100 effective, a Fuinjutsu seal could alter the letter content, making it look like it was from an important person. What shall we do? Then, shall we contact Konoha? Yes, Ace. You called, Black Wolf. Yes, go to Tsunade-sama's office. Tell her that we believe that the letter was false and that we suspect of an ambush. Please transmit that message for me. Asked Naruto, while writing it all down on a scroll. I'll be right back, Black Wolf, wait right here. Right. At Tsunade's office. Then, Ace poofed away and appeared at Tsunade's office, catching her sleeping, almost drooling on the paperwork. Seeing that, Ace sighed, seeing the resemblance that ran in the family of the Senju clan and the goofing off at the Hokage's room. Not having time to waste, Ace barked with all his might, scaring the shit out of Tsunade, making her jump out of the chair. Tsunade-sama, glad you're awake. Black Wolf told me to deliver this message to you. He is waiting a reply, said Ace, earning Tsunade's attention, making her forget to send the wolf back to where he came from. What? A message from Naruto? Give me. Tsunade-sama, I have reasons to suspect that enemy ninjas copied Jiraiya's signature and sent the letter seeking me to meet him. Since so far my way of contact with Jiraiya-sama, either Gamakichi or Gamatatsu, haven't shown up yet, me and Kurenai-san are hiding 10 miles near the meeting point. Being that, I request that a test be made on the document to check of a Fuinjutsu seal that altered the letter. Awaiting instructions on the manner. This is bad, Ace. If Naruto's right, the enemy wants him dead. Shizune, bring me Jiraiya's letter now. Ace, take this to Naruto, ordered Tsunade. Right away, Tsunade-sama. Back at the forest, Naruto and Kurenai were hiding behind the bushes, waiting for the cage buncheon's memory to come to Naruto, while Ace delivered the message to Tsunade-sama. Suddenly, Ace appeared out of nowhere, handing the message to Naruto. Black Wolf, this is serious. If it's another village, it can be dangerous in a political way. Do not go to the rendezvous point. You have a new mission. It's an investigation mission. Try to investigate who's the enemy that is supposed to wait for you to arrive, but do not engage the enemy. The evidence, if you're correct, will be revealed by the paper. I already sent a message to Jiraiya. I haven't received any response yet. Be careful. Godime. What did Tsunade-sama say? Kurenai asked, unable to see the message. She changed the mission to an investigation one. We have to see who's about to ambush us. He. Laughed Naruto, since he was about to do that with his cage buncheons anyway. Why are you laughing? Investigation mission are tough. We have to do it, and not get caught, said Kurenai, scowling her lover for his supposedly lack of maturity when handling such a mission. Oh sorry, it's just that my cage buncheons are already heading for the ambush. The minute the cage buncheons take a look at the enemy's Hitai, he will be dispelled and transfer all the information we need to cover. Wait, they dispelled. Kumo trapped us. Hurry Kurenai, we have to go. Focus chakra on your feet. We are in for quite a run, said Naruto as he ran, and Kurenai followed just behind them, quite enjoying the way the mission turned out to be. After 5 hours of travel, Kurenai showed to Naruto that she couldn't take any more, but Naruto knew better than to stay and rest since the enemy might be coming to get them. Not seeing other alternative, Naruto turned to Kurenai, saying her to get on top of his shoulders so as to carry her at least until they were near Konoha. Kurenai Heim, get on top of me, we have to continue, the enemy might come to us, please, said Naruto, almost as an order. You're not tired, we have been running for 5 hours and you suggest you carry me until Konoha, this is insane. After some time, Naruto convinced Kurenai by saying that he would take a soldier pill in the middle of the way and they both went towards Konoha's direction with Kurenai enjoying every minute of the ride with her boyfriend, seeing his hair flying with the wind, in a rather smooth way. Just how can Naruto land so smooth on a tree, like that? Wait, he's not only focusing chakra on his feet, he is creating a barrier around his boots so as to not only land without making any noise or sudden movements as well as not leaving any footmarks on the tree. ANBU can teach all sorts of things, can't they? Thought Kurenai, as she was enjoying her ride more and more. Naruto-kun, this is wonderful, we should do this again, sometime, said Kurenai, never remembering a day that she had this much fun. I'm glad you like it, Kurenai Heim. On the things that ANBU's chakra control program teaches you is to travel fast by not leaving any footmarks on the trees or any solid, said Naruto, grinning at his girlfriend's happiness with the ride. After 2 hours more, Naruto zipped a soldier pill and the couple arrived at Tsunade's office 3 hours later. Upon arrival, Naruto and Kurenai entered Tsunade's office, well more like Kurenai dragging her boyfriend and putting him on a chair to gather his breath a little bit. Tsunade upon seeing this decided to grin a little bit, since she thought Naruto would never be tired. So, Black Wolf, I thought I would die first than see you ever become tired, said Tsunade, smiling a little bit at her surrogate son and subordinate ANBU, much to Naruto's dismay since he traveled twice, since he had to carry Kurenai as well. Tsunade-sama, you'd be just as tired traveling for 5 hours pumping chakra through your feet to go faster, and I didn't say I was exhausted, I just needed to catch my breath a little bit, thank you Kurenai-chan. I feel better now, said Naruto, rising from the couch. If you were traveling for 5 hours, then why isn't Kurenai tired as well? Said Tsunade, seeing Kurenai looking around and became suspicious. Actually, Tsunade-sama, after the first travel, I was really tired, so Naruto-kun, I mean Black Wolf, carried me here on his shoulders, not that I complained though, it was one hell of a ride, said Kurenai, earning a sigh from Tsunade and Shizune that upon hearing Kurenai, they turned to look at the infamous Black Wolf and wondered where the hell he got such energy from. Oh, so Black Wolf, it seemed you're right, Kumo did set you up, we analyzed the document and it was fake just like you suspected. Also Jiraiya sent me a letter explaining about your suspicion a little time ago, explaining that his contacts in Kumo warned him about it. Also, it seems that you are quite famous in Kumo, you're in their bingo book, listed as an B-ranked shinobi, with the order to kill on sight. Congratulations, it seemed you got the attention you deserved, so to speak. Now we have to give you a nickname that can serve your reputation and scatter the information to the shinobi countries. Any ideas? Said Tsunade, to which Naruto scowled, since he got into ANBU since they got to be behind the curtains, not have names on the bingo book. I don't care what the enemy name me, put whatever you want, said Naruto harshly, earning some glares from the girls present in the room. Naruto-kun, don't underestimate such names, take Kakashi for example, Sharingan no Kakashi. His name is feared worldwide, just like you are in Kumo, said Kurenai, and Tsunade decided to add her side of the story. And do not think that the names are only for yourself, because it's not. It's for the village. Once your name got spread through the shinobi nations, the enemy would think twice before attacking, not counting the fact that we will have more clients hiring us for missions. Said Tsunade before managing to hear a sigh from the black-masked ANBU, knowing that he couldn't go against 3 women when they are settled. Okay, then, but I'm only doing it for the village, not for myself, because that would be a total waste of time. So my nickname will be Shippu Ukami, Hurricane Wolf, said Naruto, though again he couldn't care less about his fame along the shinobi countries. Konoha's Shippu Ukami sounds deadly and it matches to you quite nicely, Naruto. Having a natural affinity for wind as well as some wolf qualities yourself, okay, I'll spread the word. Shizune, be sure to take care of this, and also send Kumo our regards from trying to deceive Konoha, said Tsunade, managing to hear a devious grin coming from behind the ANBU's mask. Like father, like son. Your father was feared in Iowa, you will be feared in Kumo. After Naruto and Kurenai's mission report, the couple left the Hokage's office. Since Naruto had to make his appearance at ANBU HQ for him to handle his mission report, when an ANBU participates on a mission, not only the Hokage needs a report, but also the ANBU member has to fill a report at ANBU HQ. Kurenai was sad but complied, anyway. She knew ANBU's life from Yugo and Anko, so she bid him goodbye with a peck on the cheek, before putting his mystery black mask on and see him jump to the nearest rooftop and simply disappear from view. After, Kurenai went towards Anko's house for a little visit, seeing that she didn't have anything to do. Since her team was sent on a mission together with Shiranui Genma, she figured some girls' night was in order. She hoped that Yugo could make it as well, but since she was on Naruto's ANBU team, she wasn't sure if she would be able to attend. Nevertheless, she guessed that if she couldn't make it, at least Anko would never dismiss such an invitation. At Anko's house, Kurenai arrived at Anko's place and rang the bell of her door. A few seconds after, Kurenai managed to hear noises of someone tripping and slightly falling on the ground, mumbling a wide list of curse words to which Kurenai didn't know some of them until now. When Anko opened the door, Kurenai found she wasn't surprised when she saw Anko with just her fishnet wear, showing a lot of skin. My if it isn't Kurenai-chan. How was your romantic mission? Asked Anko before grinning deviously upon seeing Kurenai blush. Kurenai for her part remembered the word, romance, with Naruto. Anko-chan, I still don't know why you answer the door dressed up like that. What if it was some man instead of me? Asked Kurenai, not at all aware that Anko was once again thanking Kami for more blackmail material to use against her friend. Scared of the fact that Naruto-kun may see me and prefer me over you, Kurenai-chan, said Anko, emphasizing the kun in order to irritate the genjutsu mistress. Huh, you wish. Naruto-kun would not do such a thing. Besides, with the way we did it together, we were both so sweat that I believed for a moment that Naruto was making a sweetened jutsu, said Kurenai, making Anko drool at the prospect of such information. Get in here now, tell me everything. Yugo is coming over as we speak. Really? I thought she was busy at ANBU, said Kurenai, to which Anko nodded her head, saying that Yugo's team was on leave as a reward from 100 completed missions. Kurenai responded with a smile, since she was happy Yugo would be able to come to their girls' night. Okay girl, come in here and tell me everything. Where? When? How? Details, I need details, asked Anko as Kurenai stepped inside. Hold on Anko-chan, I'll gladly tell everything, but not before Yugo-chan arrives, I don't feel like repeating it, said Kurenai, although the reason was clear in her mind. Man, if I tell twice, I might have to go look for Naruto. Anko was slightly angry about not hearing about it firsthand, but she shrugged it off, since she would eventually hear it. As Kurenai and Anko fetched for a sake bottle, Yugo shunshined inside, greeting their friends who were already opening the bottle of sake. Hello there. Right to the point, I see. So, Kurenai-chan, how was the mission with Naruto? Asked Yugo, to which Kurenai turned to greet the purple-haired Kunoichi. It turned out that Kumo tried to ambush Naruto by sending a falsified letter signed by Jiraiya-sama. They were going to ambush him when he arrived at where supposed to be the rendezvous point. On the way, Naruto-kun found strange that no toad would appear to contact him, so he sent a Kage Bunshin ahead for information. Turns out that Kumo sent a team of Junins to take care of him. Knowing this, we returned, said Kurenai, as she helped fix the table together with Anko. Kumo. What would Kumo want to do with Naruto? Asked Anko, entering the conversation, to which only Kurenai and Yugo knew the answer. Naruto ended up frustrating them on some of his many missions as an ANBU. He and Yugo rescued me and my team from some Kumo shinobis a little while ago. The Hokage even gave Naruto a reputation name so as to stop Kumo from their attempts, seeing as Naruto is now on their bingo book as an A-rank shinobi, said Kurenai, to which Yugo voiced her disapproval. Why would she do that? ANBU uses masks for a reason, you know. Tsunade-sama did it as a way to improve the village's reputation. I don't see the whole problem with entering an ANBU on the bingo book. It's not like she said who he is underneath the black wolf mask. I'm sure Kumo will think twice before attacking my boyfriend, Konoha's Shippu Ukami, Hurricane Wolf, said Kurenai, proudly about being the girlfriend of the next famous shinobi since Kakashi no Sharingan, much to Anko's smirk and Yugo's dismay, since she couldn't do anything about it, since it was an act from the Hokage herself and she respected Tsunade's decisions. How did Naruto respond to such an act? Asked Yugo with the secret hope that he would take ANBU's life serious and that Hokage forced him to accept. He did the same thing as you. Although he managed to express his anger towards Tsunade, not only for the same reason you said, but also for ruining his behind-the-curtain kind of life, said Kurenai, earning looks of surprise from Anko and Yugo as well. Behind-the-curtain kind of life. That's it. The brat I met was a different person, said Anko, showing that she stopped thinking of Naruto from his first Chunin exams and the new one. That's quite interesting. Kurenai-chan, but I can see why he preferred such a thing. When I asked him about why he didn't take off his mask when inside ANBU HQ, he remembered me of his burden, as himself called it, and said that some of the ANBU members would instantly remember what happened 16 years ago. At first I figured that he was just being paranoid, but now I'm not so sure about it. Sometimes I even hear some villagers murmuring something about the demon was gone or something like that, said Yugo, to which Kurenai sighed, thinking of all the hardship he faced growing up. Sometimes I wonder if they would never forget it. I mean, Naruto can't wear a mask forever. ANBU has a 3-year service. After that, the ninja's minds start shattering after seeing stuff, said Anko, instantly feeling sad for him, to whom Kurenai decided to step in. Since she knows how strong her boyfriend is both physically and mentally. Anko-chan, Naruto-kun will succeed, I believe in him. But enough with the sad stories. Naruto-kun is going to thrive as an ANBU and rise as a Junin. Now, as I recall, Anko-chan here wanted to know something, didn't she? Said Kurenai, winking at both of them, immediately getting Anko's attention. Yugo for her part somehow knew that she would need to have some time with Hayate. Well, it all started when, with Naruto. After saying goodbye to Kurenai, he was heading for ANBU HQ. On the way, he was cursing Tsunade for doing what she did. Sure, he wanted to protect the village, but he didn't want to attract attention to himself anymore. Doing this is what caused people to look down on him or treat him the way they did, simply because they thought that he was weak and couldn't back any eventual threat. Now, Kuma was targeting him and he didn't like it. As he was jumping through rooftops and rooftops, a woman's shout reached his ears, actually hurting it a little bit. When he looked to see to whom belonged the voice, he wasn't surprised to see Yamanaka Ino shouting at Nara Shikamaru for being so damn lazy. Upon watching the display and utterly grateful from not being on the receiving end of the voice that could send the entire Inuzuka clan to the ground, Naruto mumbled his disapproval of the ones that he graduated with. Shikamaru was okay, perhaps Shino and even Choji. But the rest of them were a lost cause. Ino and Sakura were the worst of the bunch with their somehow voice enhancement jutsu. After a little time watching the two, he spotted Choji arriving with a bag of chips on his hands. Naruto's mind immediately shifted to his time as a genin under Team 7 with Kakashi, and just the thought of it unnerved him to no end. Too much egos to battle against, he thought. But he could only sigh and move forward, since there was no sense in dwelling on the past like that. So he got up and started jumping straight forward the ANBU HQ. Shikamaru for his part thought he sensed someone watching his team, but shrugged it off when Asuma arrived with a B-ranked mission near Iwa territory. Asuma for his part got to sense Naruto watching his team's antics, at the same time wondering when he would get to fight against him again. Asuma was actually considering Naruto as a future sparring partner, so as to not become stagnant since he practically led his Chunin team with all the fighting. Asuma cursed the fact that his team didn't bump into ranked missing nins like the one Kakashi's team bumped into on their first C-ranked mission. Naruto, maybe I'll hold on to that offer. Back with Naruto, he was already inside ANBU HQ. As he went to the hallways, Naruto met with some ANBU members that he got to meet, at least the name of their masks, since he didn't want to risk exposing his identity from fear of people recognizing him as the demon vessel. As he walked, a voice suddenly talked to him, much to his dismay. You seem paranoid, Naruto. You seem tense, relax. Ku, said Kyuubi, though he was furious of being ignored by his vessel. Hey Kyuubi, long time no see. How is going? said Naruto inside his mindscape after entering inside a bedroom for ANBU members to sleep after missions inside of Konoha. Ku. Ignoring me again, aren't you? I wonder how much time can you do that, Naruto? No matter how much stronger you are still just human. I'm the king of demons, whispered Kyuubi with his strong voice, licking so much killing intent that Naruto was barely managing to hold his cool about the whole thing. But in order to control the demon, one must show him that either didn't care or forcefully shoving him inside the cage, which Naruto still didn't have strength to do. Right, you're king of demons, yet not only you're trapped inside a human stomach, but also putted it here by another human, said Naruto, before hearing Kyuubi roared, leaking more killing intent than before. One day, Naruto, you will succumb to me, and when the day comes, all of the people you hold dear will be killed by my claws, just you wait, shouted Kyuubi, after seeing Naruto's mental image vanish. Now looking at the room's door, Naruto took off his mask and started breathing heavily. Since he became a part of ANBU, Kyuubi made sure to leak some killing intent from time to time in order to let Naruto know the real enemy. Orochimaru and Akatsuki were just little enemies compared to the almighty demon. Speaking of the snake and the red cloud pain in the, Naruto was wondering about their whereabouts. He knew that Akatsuki didn't know about his ANBU status, since he refused to remove his mask when inside the HQ. His report only indicated his mask and his name as Konoha's Shippu Ukami, and Jiraiya was keeping tabs on the snake Sannin to see who he would choose to switch bodies. Now regaining his breath, Naruto put on his mask again and went out of the room. As he went through the hallways, he bumped into Hawk saying that their team would do a scout throughout the village, seeing as ANBU's information gathering squad found rumors of an S-ranked missing nin by the name of Reiko Shinomaru. He fled from Iwa after a failed attempt in killing the Earth Daimyo. Hawk also said that after this mission, his team would take 2 days off. Oh, and Black Wolf, Cat won't be joining us. She had the choice of not coming to this mission and took an extra day. I don't know, probably wanting to catch up with her friends or something like that. She didn't want to talk to me about it. Oh well, we'll scout the village in 2 hours. Meet me and Bear on top of the ANBU HQ, said Hawk, before heading off to whatever he was supposed to do. Naruto for his part bowed in respect, while thinking about the red-eyed beauty. He figured that Yugo would get to talk to her as well as Anko. I wonder what they talk about. Little did he know that he happened to be the center of attention right now. At the girls' night. Right now, Kurenai was on the part when she and Naruto lost all their inhibitions and just let their hormones take over. Anko was using her kunoichi's experience just to not take her hands and begin to touch her body. She already heard the first time Naruto and Kurenai had, but that was just foreplay compared to this time, either that or Kurenai was just exaggerating. Either way, the red-eyed kunoichi was telling with such passion and lust on her eyes that it was difficult not to believe her. Yugo was rendered speechless once again, and she tried to reach her mask to hide all the blushing which sadly was no near her at the moment. Kurenai for her part was now in trance for remembering the scene. At first, she began explaining of the romantic scenery when she and Naruto kissed under the full moon. Then she told them about the couple's teasing, and afterwards all hell broke loose. After some time, Kurenai finished describing the scene, wondering about the sudden wet sensation she felt near that area. Anko and Yugo were in serious need of some male company at the moment, but since Anko was still single and they got news that Hayate got a mission, neither of the girls would be able to release the sudden tension that rose after Kurenai's detailed description that happened to destroy a certain orange book's reputation. Somewhere, a certain white-haired man felt the urge to giggle. Anko-chan, give me that bottle, right now, shouted Yugo, earning a nod from the snake mistress as well as a blush from the red-eyed kunoichi, who regained her conscience after being in slight trance. Sorry, I got carried away, said Kurenai, to which Anko decided to add a little comment. Gee, you think. God, Kurenai-chan, if I didn't know you, I would think that you were the hidden author of the Ika Ika series. I know. I've never felt like this before. I think I had a little orgasm after telling the story, said Kurenai, still blushed that happened to match with her eyes. I'll say, you were practically moaning Naruto's name on occasions. Damn it, Kurenai, how do you expect me to take you and Naruto out of my mind if you keep describing like that? Said Yugo before slapping her hands, covering her mouth so as to try to keep Kurenai from suspecting something, but sadly Kurenai heard it. You do what? Screamed Kurenai, mentally cursing her friend for such a thing and herself for being the one who caused it. I'm sorry Kurenai-chan, but the way you described it, I was surprised that you didn't ran away just to find Naruto and ravage him. No wait. Kurenai, it's your entire fault. I'm on his team, you know. Shouted Yugo, blushing madly while hearing Anko laughing her off. But that wasn't what scared Yugo though. After the laughter stopped, Anko was smiling deviously, which according to Kurenai and Yugo's experience with the snake mistress, such smile only mean trouble. Oh, I have an idea for you guys to solve this problem. Why not share him? How about it, huh? Whispered Anko, earning blushes from Yugo and shouts from Kurenai, who once again was not only cursing Anko but herself as well for once again being the cause of it. Have you lost your damned mind, or the sake is tampering with your brain? There is no way in hell that I'd even consider such a thing. Naruto-kun is mine and mine alone. Besides, Yugo has Hayate, right Yugo-chan? Asked Kurenai, while looking for Yugo for reassurance, only to see Yugo still blushing, while zoning out for a moment. Yugo! Screamed Kurenai, waking the purple-haired Kunoichi from her thoughts. Yes Kurenai-chan, you said something, said Yugo, earning looks of anger from Kurenai, who thought that her friend ANBU was considering the idea, and enjoyment from Anko, who just needed to do one more push for hell to break loose. Nah, Kurenai-chan, isn't Naruto a stamina freak? I'm sure he can handle 2 women at the same time, said Anko smiling, before sensing a sudden chill up her spine that could make Orochimaru cry like a little girl after losing her favorite doll. Anko! Screamed Kurenai, while starting to make hand seals before screaming Tsukiyomi, just kidding, even though it would be funny as hell, Megan Jubaku Satsu, demonic illusion, tree binding death. Before Anko realized, she was being held by a tree, falling in Kurenai's genjutsu. At ANBU's library, not having anything to do since he had to wait for his scout mission, Naruto headed for the ANBU's library in order to learn a new technique. Going through the Fuden Ninjutsu section, Naruto managed to find a scroll with an A-ranked Fuden jutsu called Fuden Kyomo Shippu no Jutsu, Wind Style, Fierce Hurricane Jutsu. After that, he sat on a table nearby and started reading the scroll. As he was reading, he learned that in order to perform this technique, the ninja must know how to expel Fuden chakra from his body and then spin in order to create the hurricane. After that, the scroll said that the hard part of the technique was to actually control the hurricane once formed. No wonder this is an A-rank technique, the chakra needed to control the hurricane would be quite large. Thank Kami, she blessed me with high chakra capacity. After finishing reading the scroll, Naruto got up and head for a training ground, after registering his name and the scroll he took with the librarian. ANBU's hidden training ground number 5. After a little search for an empty training ground, Naruto found this one and marveled at the sight of what appeared to be a forest inside the building. Damn Yamato Taiko, do you need to go through this trouble? Naruto dismissed the thought and rushed to his new technique. Focusing Fuden chakra, Naruto waited as the wind traveled through his chakra coils, until he could feel it reaching all his tenketsus. For this to work, Naruto had to expel the Fuden chakra through his body at the same time. As he proceeded, he felt little gusts of wind leaving his arms, legs, chest, and stomach. Well, first part completed, now with the spinning. Naruto figured that a little copy of the Hyuga's heavenly spin was in order, but with Fuden chakra instead of normal chakra. However, as Naruto tried to spin, he found it hard to focus on the expelling part, since he also needed to spin very fast for the hurricane to form. After some attempts, Naruto was getting dizzy from all the spinning, and yet the best that he could do was to create a little typhoon which lasted only 5 seconds. Man, the control needed for this technique is amazing. Not only you have to keep the hurricane spinning, but also you have to throw at the enemy. Naruto learned from the scroll that this technique could also be used for defensive purposes, by only needing to control the hurricane spinning. Naruto once learned from Jiraiya about how much chakra was actually needed for each technique, and he remembered the old pervert saying to him that in order to see how much chakra is needed, one has to attempt the technique with a specific quantity of chakra so as to see if the technique needs more or less chakra to perform. Seeing that the technique was ranked as an A-ranked one, Naruto decided to pump more chakra and hopefully the hurricane would form. Already spinning again, Naruto focused on expelling Fudan chakra, but this time using way more chakra than before, making the hurricane spin around Naruto, keeping him inside while he stopped spinning and kept controlling the hurricane's spin velocity. Naruto enjoyed the feeling of controlling Fudan chakra. He actually felt like a wind god upon seeing that he could control the speed of the hurricane like that. But now was the real challenge. Spin the hurricane was one thing, but manage to move the hurricane at will was another. Since the scroll didn't mention anything about how to move the hurricane's position, he figured that he not only needed to keep the rotation, but also needed to force the huge tornado. But then again, in order to control Fudan ninjutsu, the ninja must not use force to control it, but rather actually go with the air current. If Naruto managed to use another air current and simply push the hurricane, he would be able to complete the technique. I can do the Daitapa without seals, but this takes a lot of chakra to proceed, but then again maybe I can do the hand seals, since the tornado is already created, I just need to push it. Now willing to test his theory, Naruto ran through the hand seals needed for the Daitapa, managing to send the hurricane forward. The result was quite amazing and quite destructive at the same time. Naruto was glad that the hurricane dissipated after he stopped applying Fudan chakra for two reasons. One was because he knew how to dissipate, and two because if the hurricane didn't dissipate, it would cause more destruction to the training ground than it already did. Damn, even without Hawk with me, I can still manage to destroy like this. Maybe I should pay a visit to ANBU's demolition corps. See if I feel at home there. Feeling the need to flee the area so as to not be held responsible, Naruto left the training ground and headed for the library in order to return the scroll he took. Little did he know that ANBU have several hidden cameras around the training grounds so that the ANBU chief as well as the Hokage can keep track of the members' training. Tenzo wasn't surprised to see the hurricane since he knew about Black Wolf's unnatural stamina and chakra capacity, but Tsunade was speechless upon the image that was being transmitted. Naruto literally created a hurricane. 1 hour later, on top of the ANBU HQ, Hawk and Bear were waiting for Black Wolf to arrive. Currently, they were engaging in a conversation about some ANBU member who manages to do a lot of damage to one of the training grounds, and the only clue they had was that the member used a lot of Fudan ninjutsu, from what they've sensed when arriving. Deep down, they already knew who the demolisher was, since the only one they knew that uses Fudan ninjutsu was Black Wolf. Speaking of the devil, a little tornado appeared in front of them and Black Wolf made himself known. It's about time. Say, you wouldn't know about what happened on training ground number 5 now, would you? Asked Bear, though both him and Hawk already knew the answer, but just wanted to tease the boy. Naruto, for his part, upon seeing that he got caught, sighed in defeat and decided to tell the truth about it. Sorry about that, I was testing a new technique that I learned, but I didn't know that it could do such damage to a field. But then I guess that if you guys know about it, so does Tenzo Taiko and the Hokage know as well. Man, another bill I have to pay. If I continue like this, I'll be broke before I know it, said Black Wolf, scratching the back of his head, to which Hawk and Bear just looked at him for a while. Both of them knew that was Naruto who did this, but they didn't know that only one technique managed to do that. Feeling the need to ask, Hawk turned to Naruto. Ah, Black Wolf, what was that technique you tried? According to a scroll I took, it is called Fudan Kyomo Shippu no Jutsu, Wind Style, Fierce Hurricane Jutsu. It's an A-ranked jutsu, used against large crowds of enemies. Not very useful technique, unless we're fighting a war or against high number of missing nins. However, if I were to use it against a single enemy, it would be better to sign a death wish, said Naruto, managing to satisfy his comrades' curiosity but not their astonishment. Man, Black Wolf, have you ever considered joining the Demolition Corps? I believe they have an opening for you, said Bear, earning a scowl from Naruto and laughter from Hawk. Okay, team, let's proceed with the scout. In case we find Shinomaru, do not engage alone. He is an S-ranked missing nin, and as such, we have to at least consider him Sannin level, said Hawk, earning nods of recognition from Bear and Black Wolf, before they vanished in a blur. After half an hour, the team reached all of Konoha's territory and no signs of the missing nin or any indicator of his presence. Hawk, seeing that it would be futile to simply do laps around Konoha, asked Black Wolf to summon the team's tracker. Right away, Hawk Taiko, Kuchio's no Jutsu, Ace summoning technique. Ace, said Naruto as he slammed his hand on the ground before a huge wolf appeared in front of the team. Hello Black Wolf, what can I do for you? Asked Ace, to which Naruto responded. Ace, we need to find an Iwa missing nin called Shinomaru. Our reports showed that he might be within Konoha's territory. Try searching for someone with Master on Earth affinity close by, said Naruto before seeing Ace close his eyes and start sniffing around the perimeter. Black Wolf, how far can Ace track someone? Asked Hawk, instead receiving the answer from the wolf. By focusing simple chakra through my nose, I can sense anyone within Konoha's territory. By applying Fudan chakra, the area is expanded, reaching Tanzaku City as well, since the air current makes it easier for the smell to reach my nose, said Ace before getting back to sniffing. Black Wolf, I sense a presence that fit the description, although I cannot say for sure that is our target. This person's chakra is comparable to a Sanin and I can sense Dodan chakra around him, said Ace, instantly getting the team's attention. Ace, show us the way. Black Wolf and Bear, follow me, screamed Hawk, before the team vanished once again in order to follow the wolf. The team was moving fast since Ace was kind of used to the fact that usually once Naruto was following him, so Hawk and Bear needed to channel some chakra through their legs in order to keep up. Black Wolf, can't you tell him to slow down a bit? I can barely see where we're landing, asked Bear, to which Naruto responded with a scratch on his head. Sorry about that. Ace cannot control his speed like we do. He uses wine chakra for everything, therefore it's safe to say that he travels using the air current. Be ready, I believe we are about to arrive at the destination, said Black Wolf, after receiving a nod from Ace that said the enemy was nearby. As the ANBU team arrived, they came in contact with the intruder. Shinomaru was 6'4", with blonde hair and black eyes. Being known throughout the shinobi countries as Iwa's Diamond Fang, Shinomaru had quite a record. Being an S-ranked missing nin by his 20s, the man's Dodan ability was rival only to the Tsushikage. In fact, he was next in line to succeed the cage position, but Shinomaru got fed up with the way the Earth Daimyo did things without even bothering to inform the Tsushikage, so he took upon himself to kill him, being only stopped by all the Daimyo's guards at the same time. He received the nickname because of his taijutsu style that happened to focus on hardening his arms and legs with Dodan chakra, making each attack seem like being hit by a ton of bricks. Ah, Konoha's ANBU is here to greet me, how nice. I heard great things of you guys. Come on then, I will take care of the three of you. Show me why Konoha's ANBU are so feared, said Shinomaru, to which Hawk was already deliberating a strategy with his team. Okay, team, listen up. This guy is dangerous and like Ace said, he is Sanin level, therefore we can't underestimate him. Bear, taijutsu against him, but remember, do not engage him face to face, he got his nickname for a reason. Wait for his attack to come and counterattack. Ace and Black Wolf, once Bear managed to distract him, use the K's no Yaiba wind/sequence. Bear, when you see the attack, use Shunshin to get away. The timing must be perfected. I'll be back up in case the plan is ruined, said Hawk, before earning nods of recognition from the team. Being the first to attack, Bear channeled chakra through his legs, giving him a boost and appear fast in front of the enemy, who seemed surprised that the giant ANBU had such speed. Channeling chakra through his arms, Shinomaru countered Bear's attacks and also tried to land a few on his own, but sadly to no avail. Proof of Hawk's ingenuity, Bear was only counter-attacking Shinomaru's attacks, infuriating him to no end. Come on, attack you coward! Screamed the missing nin, receiving no reply from the large ANBU, who happened to be smirking behind his mask upon seeing that the opponent was hot-headed. Bear, after dodging one last attack, making the missing nin lose his footing for a second, shunshined out of the way, 1 second before seeing Black Wolf and Ace started rotating around the enemy while making hand seals, Naruto's case, initiating the sequence. Fudan K's no Yaiba, Kiba no Jutsu, Wind Style, Wind Sword, Fang Jutsu, said Naruto and Ace at the same time, throwing multiple wind slashes at the enemy while running around him. When the dust cleared, the ANBU's team paled upon seeing that no harm was caused. Shit, he used his ability to harden his whole body, deflecting the attack. Damn it, said Hawk, to which Shinomaru laughed and responded. Ha, that was indeed a nice attack, congrats. It seems the rumors about Konoha's ANBU were true then. But you will need much more than that to penetrate my defense. Black Wolf, any ideas? Asked Hawk before seeing Naruto making hand seals, which he didn't recognize it yet. I'll try this. Raiden Denko Koko no Jutsu, Lightning Style, Lightning Roar Jutsu. With that, Naruto sent a wave of lightning chakra towards the enemy, transforming into a lightning lion, roaring like a wild beast towards the opponent, making Shinomaru focus more chakra through his body, just waiting for the blow. While seeing the huge lion approaching, he was cursing himself from underestimating Konoha's ninjutsu variety. He only traveled throughout the countries that didn't have Raiden users, which was obvious. His defense was made by high usage of Doden chakra, so Raiden would be his only weakness, and this blonde ANBU discovered that. When the lion reached Shinomaru, he managed to hold the attack for a while, but he was flying along with the technique, and the chakra needed for maintaining his defense was huge. Barely able to cancel the technique, Shinomaru was panting on the ground. Man, I never thought I would have to take a chakra pill for this fight. Since he was a little far away from the ANBU team, he managed to recover at least half of his chakra capacity and feared that he wouldn't be able to beat these guys. Hawk and Bear was looking at Black Wolf like he was a mad person. Black Wolf, after this mission, I would like to talk to you. Now, the enemy must be weakened, but be aware. He could have taken a chakra pill, therefore Black Wolf and I will finish him. Remember when I give you the signal for our combined ninjutsu attack, said Hawk, earning a nod from Black Wolf. As they arrived at the clearing, they saw Shinomaru now slightly tired, which meant that he took a chakra pill. I was Diamond Fang, we hereby declare your death sentence, may your soul rest in peace. Black Wolf, initiate the sequence, said Hawk as he and Black Wolf started making hand seals. Bear and Ace took a step back out of fear of being caught since they knew of the technique, but Shinomaru wanted to see the power of this jutsu. Come on, Konoha's ANBU. I can take it. Even Raiden can't penetrate my defense, said Shinomaru, of his ability, to which Black Wolf and Hawk said at the same time, while molding the necessary chakra. As you wish. Kaden Karyu Enden, Fire Style, Fire Dragon Missile Jutsu. Fuden Chakra Daitapa no Jutsu, Wind Style, Enhanced Breakthrough Jutsu. Bear and Ace was taken aback by the new combination. The last one they did was a combination of C-ranked jutsus, but this one was a ranked jutsus. At least Hawk's attack was considered an A-ranked, but Black Wolf's was an enhanced version of the Daitapa, upgrading the technique to at least a B-ranked. The combination turned out to be a blast of white flame that engulfed Shinomaru instantly, burning him to a crisp. His defense could only hold Hawk's technique, but with Fuden Chakra enhancing the flame, it was nearly impossible to block it. As a result, the team couldn't prove the man's death, until Ace sniffed some ashes that happened to have Shinomaru's scent. Good job, team. Mission accomplished, said Hawk before seeing that Black Wolf was kneeling on the ground, panting from what looked like chakra exhaustion. Upon seeing this, Hawk and Bear could only nod, since they remembered that Black Wolf wasted some chakra on his new Fuden technique before the mission. Bear, let's go back to ANBU HQ so we can fulfill the paperwork. Oh, and carry our little powerhouse over there, will you? Gee, Black Wolf, I never thought I would get to see you suffering from chakra exhaustion, said Hawk, earning laughs from Ace, Bear and Black Wolf. Haha, Tsunade-sama said the same thing a while back. I guess this little vacation will be good after all, said Black Wolf, to which Ace appeared by his side and nodded to him. Okay, let's go, team. After we take care of the reports, Black Wolf, we'll talk about your abilities, said Hawk, gaining a nod from the black-haired ANBU. And then, they took off towards the ANBU HQ, completely oblivious to the fact that they beat Iwa's second most powerful opponent. With Kurenai, after calming down and releasing Anko from her genjutsu, Kurenai said goodbye to her friends. Kurenai was thinking about Anko's teasing and Yugo's red face after she told them about lovemaking with Naruto. How would I know that Yugo would be so turned on by the story? Didn't Hayate satisfy her? Thinking rationally, Kurenai blamed herself from putting too much emphasis when telling the story. It wasn't that she lied about it, but she could omit some parts, as well as not moan Naruto's name when telling. Dismissing the thought, Kurenai arrived at her place, before trying to search for her keys. Now, remembering that she left her keys on Naruto's apartment, since they were on a mission together, she hoped that he would at least be inside his apartment. As she arrived quickly, she knocked some times but sadly no one answered. Oh, the poor guy must be on ANBU duty. Man, don't they ever rest. I wonder if the door is open. To her luck, when she touched the doorknob and turned, the door opened. Huh, maybe I will make a surprise for him when he arrive, bad Kurenai. At ANBU HQ. After arriving at the HQ, Hawk and Bear left Black Wolf at the infirmary so as to recover some of his chakra and went to make the last team report for at least 2 days vacation. On the way, Naruto and Hawk discussed about his abilities. Hawk learned that Black Wolf had mastery over 3 elements, being Suiden, Fuden and Raiden. After that, they talked about Naruto's techniques and were shocked to see a not very wide list, but only useful and powerful techniques. Naruto got clearance from the ANBU medic Nin and went back home. On the way, Naruto was feeling the stray of the fight, since now the adrenaline left and only pure pain reached his muscles. That lightning jutsu he used took a lot of chakra to use, but since the guy's defense was impenetrable, Naruto thought that it would work. As he arrived in front of the door, Naruto managed to see that the door was slightly open, which could only mean that someone was inside of his apartment. Inside Naruto's apartment. Already inside and closing the door slowly, Naruto was suddenly overpowered by a strange yet comforting aura. It was filled with so much lust that Naruto's hormones were awakening faster and faster. As he was walking towards the direction of the aura he was sensing, which seemed to be coming from the bedroom, Naruto found that his inside temperature were increasing dramatically. As he arrived, his eyes caught a sight that he would forever cherish. There lay on his bed, the one to whom his heart belonged. Red eyes that looked more like 2 sparkling roses looking at him, accompanied with a smile that could make any man crazy, just by looking at it, and a body that could make any woman jealous. There she was, the woman of his dreams, lying down on his bed. Naruto just stood there worshipping every part of her body. Kurenai for her part was enjoying herself right now. She loved to cause these reactions on her boyfriend, it made her feel wanted and it made her feel special. The genjutsu she casted on his apartment was just one of her inventions to when she found someone to provoke him with, to arouse him. The genjutsu involved the creation of a lust aura that could make a person go nuts in desire. Now she saw the results of her creation and she was thrilled with seeing the blonde was fighting his hormones not to jump on her and start pleasuring her. Seeing that Naruto was caught in a trance, Kurenai lifted from the bed and started walking slowly towards her boyfriend, while swinging her hips, eliminating any source of willpower that Naruto was having at the moment. As she arrived in front of him, she moved her hands and started caressing his whisker marks softly, relaxing Naruto after such a strenuous mission. As he closed his eyes and smile, Kurenai could only think about all the times she saw her boyfriend smile and just made her feel calm and warm inside. I love you, Naruto-kun, said Kurenai, before she started kissing his lips passionately. As she kissed him, she felt his arms embracing her body firmly and bringing her closer to him to a point that her body touched his ANBU armor. After they broke the kiss, Naruto just looked at her eyes and said, smiling to her, I love you too, my Hime, said Naruto, before carrying her bridal style to the bed while never taking his eyes off her broad smile. As he landed her on the bed, Naruto started pleasuring her, licking her neck and with his hands, caressing her entire body, making Kurenai tremble in pleasure. After a while, she couldn't take it anymore and whispered closely to his ear. You wearing too many clothes, why not take this armor off? Said Kurenai, to which Naruto smiled. Care to help me? Said Naruto, receiving a nod from his lover. Kurenai took off his chest armor and started licking his open chest, sending waves of pleasure towards the blonde. After a while, she went downhill and took off his leg armor and ANBU cargo pants, leaving him with only his boxers. Kurenai looked at Naruto with a devious smile and took off his boxers, freeing his. Wasting no time, Kurenai turned to pleasure Naruto by sucking it gently. To say that he was losing his control was an understatement. Kurenai at that moment was in charge of the situation, by giving him pleasure while caressing his arms and chest with her hands. Since Naruto was the dominant part, he ushered her to move the position so that he could do the same thing Kurenai was doing to him, making her smile so deviously that could make Anko look like a joke. As Naruto initiated, Kurenai was finding extremely hard to continue what she was doing, seeing that she was already moaning his name out of extreme pleasure. After a while of pleasure on both sides, Kurenai moved to lay down looking up and Naruto landed on top of her, trusting it inside slowly, while making Kurenai surrender to whichever inhibitions she would has at this moment. As Naruto was pounding it inside, Kurenai was losing her mind, while repeatedly calling his name, desperately wanting more of his inside of her. Attending her request, Naruto initiated more deep insertions, making Kurenai moan ever louder and her hands squeezing the bed's mattresses, almost to the point of shredding the fabric. But this was not compared to when Naruto moved to kiss her passionately, while pounding her, increasing her body temperature dramatically up to a point that the couple was now sweating like animals in heat. Only in what could be described as a perfect love scene, both of them had orgasm at the same time. After it, Naruto was lying down with Kurenai's head resting on his chest, smiling like never before. So, Naruto-kun, now that you have a 2-day vacation, what do you intend to do? Asked Kurenai, though she was hoping that she would be in his plans of rest. Well, I've never took a vacation, but I was hoping if maybe you'd be interested in having a picnic near the lake with me tomorrow, asked Naruto, to which Kurenai smiled and nodded at the invitation. I'd love to. I only have to see my team in the morning and then we'll go. It's a date, then. Now, I would be glad if you'd like to sleep with me, I rest much better with you by my side, asked Naruto, to which Kurenai responded by coddling with him and embracing him with her arms, while smiling. Of course, I'll stay silly. Your chest is much better than any pillow I've ever had. And so, Naruto and Kurenai fell asleep together. Next day, as soon as the sunlight engulfed Naruto's room, the couple awoke after a wonderful sleep. Since Kurenai had to see her team, they made some breakfast for Kurenai, took a shower together and left his house, going on separate ways, with the promise of meeting at the lake at midday. While Kurenai went to see her team, Naruto went to Ichiraku's, to meet Kakashi for breakfast. At Ichiraku's, a silver-haired Junin was patiently waiting for the blonde to arrive, while reading his all-time favorite orange book, much to Ayame's anger. The stand owner's daughter, along with all women across the shinobi countries, who happened to learn about the infamous Ika series published by one of the legendary Sanin. Even though Ayame knew Kakashi because of Naruto, she was still angry at him reading the book in front of her, which didn't get unnoticed by the silver-haired scarecrow. No one knew this, but the reason behind Kakashi did read such a book in public was to provoke such reactions on women. He enjoyed seeing the look of anger on her faces upon looking at him with the book. But there was another reason to his acting like this, but the second reason was connected to the first. From reading it in public, he could as well analyze all the women who kept staring at him, in hopes of finding someone who wasn't at all affected by the book, but he had yet to find such woman, and while he couldn't find. Not to mention that if such woman was to not be affected by the book, it could very well mean that she could be as pervert as the silver-haired shinobi. After a while of analyzing Ayame's anger, Kakashi was awake from his thoughts when a blonde man took a sit next to him. Hello Ayame-san, give me 2 bowls of miso ramens please, said the blonde, to which Ayame nodded and proceeded to make while the blonde turned to talk to Kakashi. So Naruto, how is life in ANBU treating you? I heard from Hawk that your team managed to take care of Iwa's Diamond Fang, said the silver-haired shinobi, never taking his eyes off the book, which unnerved Ayame to no end, almost burning her arm since her arm was near the cooking oil. Yeah, the guy was someone else. It took our strongest combination so far to finish this guy, said Naruto, before picking up his chopsticks and eat the noodles with gusto. Oh yes, I heard about the combination. It's a shame though that Konoha don't house much wind users. Such a force would be well recognized and feared, mumbled Kakashi, before sucking the last noodle. After that, they ate in silence for a while. Naruto was pondering over telling Kakashi of Kyuubi's killing intent occasionally, and since Kakashi could be around Konoha when the Kyuubi attacked, he could have some answers. Kakashi-sensei, were you here when Kyuubi attacked? Asked Naruto, making Kakashi divert his eyes from the book from the sudden change of topic. Yeah, I was. Why? How was its killing intent aura? Asked Naruto, making Kakashi sweat a little, remembering. It was enough to start breathing for a while. You were practically immobile. Your body protested each and every moment. At the time, my Sharingan could actually see the Kitsune's killing intent. But why do you ask? Asked Kakashi, though he knew somehow that the answer would be troublesome to say the least. Ever since I entered ANBU, it has been sending killing intent through my whole body on occasions. At first, I didn't recognize the source, since as an ANBU, we're constantly fighting strong opponents, but last time I was inside ANBU HQ at the time, so he addressed to me with killing intent, challenging me to see how long I could control his urges. Said Naruto rather stoic, but Kakashi could see the weight of such responsibility clearly through the blonde cerulean eyes. You're right when you said that the Yondaime chose you to bear such a burden, Naruto. Anyone would already be killed or succumb to the monster's desires. You've said it yourself that such a burden is yours alone to carry, I respect that. But if it turns to be hard to handle, don't fear turning to others to help you. Remember, there are others that suffered as well. If they could overcome their sufferings, so could you. Said Kakashi, before lifting from his seat, leaving Naruto to pay the bill since it was his turn. With Kurenai, after arriving on her team's training ground and seeing that no one had arrived, she sighed since that meant she could have rested a little longer with her favorite pillow, aka Naruto's chest. Remembering the sensation, Kurenai smiled greatly. Even though it was rather comfortable to rest her head on his chest, there wasn't the only reason why it was so good. Kurenai always found quite strange that Naruto's body could exhale such warmth from within, and while her head rested on top of him, she could very well feel such warmth, sending waves of tranquility and peace. Not to mention that Kurenai could hear Naruto's heart beating strong, telling her all that she needed to know about the man she loved. 15 minutes later, Shino was the first one to arrive at the training ground, only to see that Kurenai-sensei was the only one there yet. As he was walking towards her, he felt that her aura had another presence within, as if she was in contact with someone he knew before, but couldn't figure out who this person was. Ohio Kurenai-sensei, said Shino, awakening Kurenai from her daydream that resolved basically on Naruto's chest and the feeling. Oh, hello Shino, where are Kiba and Hinata? Asked Kurenai, to which Shino responded by shaking his head, signaling for her that he didn't know where they were. As soon as Kurenai started pounding about tardiness and the fact that she beat her team about being on time for everything, especially now that they are chunins, a huge white dog landed hard on the ground, making a little earthquake as a result. Upon looking at the late Inuzuka, Kurenai and Shino were surprised to see that not only Kiba was on top of Akamaru but also Hinata was behind him with her arms around his waist. Upon seeing this, Shino only roused his eyebrows, showing his surprised face, while Kurenai smirked at the supposedly new couple. Kurenai grinned even more upon seeing that even though they had arrived, the couple was talking with each other and Hinata was smiling heartedly towards Kiba. Kurenai remembered about Hinata's crush on Naruto when she graduated from the academy, and also remembered Hinata saying that it was just a crush and that the only thing she felt for Naruto was respect from him, never losing hope. But after some time, it seemed that the couple was literally ignoring both her and Shino's presence. She thought of letting the lovebirds know of her presence. It's not that I don't mind seeing you lovebirds like this, which I do, but we have training to do, said Kurenai, making the couple turn towards their sensei and blush from the insinuation. Gomen, Kurenai-sensei, said both at the same time. Excuse me, Kurenai-sensei, said Kiba, getting Kurenai's attention, to which she responded. Yes, Kiba? Asked Kurenai, although a little suspicious since Shino looked her like that as well when he arrived, which could mean only one thing. Why do I sense Naruto's scent on you? Asked Kiba, making Kurenai blush on the outside, but inside she was cursing her scout team because of their bloodline abilities. Shino for his part looked at Kiba now, remembering what he felt different about his sensei. Hinata already know about Naruto and Kurenai going out, but she wasn't aware of the fact that their relationship was evolved up to sleeping together. Well, it's no use trying to hide the truth from my team. Damn knows Kiba and bugs Shino, said Kurenai, although mumbling the last part so that her team couldn't hear. As you all may or not know, I and Naruto are seeing each other, right now, said Kurenai, to which Hinata nodded while Shino and Kiba were surprised to say the least. Kiba for his part was wondering if something happened to Naruto since he didn't see the blonde for a year now. He figured that he went on another training trip or on a long-term mission. You're with Naruto. I can't believe this. Sorry to disrespect, but aren't you a little old to be with him, Kurenai-sensei? Asked Kiba, before receiving a punch on the head from Hinata from his commentary. Kurenai for her part remembered of herself thinking of such petty differences and the fact that she would deprive herself from her happiness, just to satisfy some social standards. If you would consider numbers, Kiba, you're right, I'm much older than him. But taking experience into consideration, Naruto is on par with me, if not older in that regard. Said Kurenai, satisfying Kiba's curiosity, but he felt like answering another question. Kurenai-sensei, since you've been seeing him, you can tell where is he? It's been 1 year since I last saw him. Asked Kiba, earning looks of surprise from his team from not believing that Kiba didn't know that Naruto was the one who saved them for Kumo's hands. Kiba, don't you remember the ANBU who rescued us from Kumo? Said Kurenai, to which Kiba got to thinking and almost instantly paled upon remembering that day. He remembered the ANBU glaring at him with feral yellow eyes that resembled so much of wolves and the shiver that went up his spine. He was flabbergasted on thinking that Naruto could have such a menacing look when irritated, but if he was seeing Kurenai, then why he was angry at the time, instead of being happy that Kurenai was safe. Wow, I thought that guy to be a super elite ANBU captain from the killing intent aura he licked back then. I would never thought of Naruto like that. Said Kiba, receiving a nod from his team, but something was still amiss. But Kurenai-sensei, if the ANBU was in fact Naruto, then why wasn't he happy of seeing you safe and sound? Asked Kiba, seeing that such question made Kurenai look down on the ground in shame from remembering what she did to him, that caused him to act like that. Kurenai remembered of what Naruto said after she showed gratitude from him saving her as the scene now materialized it inside her head, showing Naruto with his ANBU armor and mask looking at her after she said thanks and said, "It's our job." She knew that he was in deep pain from seeing her together with Asuma, and that comment made her heart crumble. Now she felt that her student didn't need to know the whole details, so she just elaborated the relevant part. "Let's just say we weren't on our best terms then and just leave it," said Kurenai, to which Kiba was going to retort, but controlled himself since he didn't mean to get into his sensei's personal life. "Now, team, today we'll begin elemental manipulation ninjutsu. I don't know if Kekkei Genkai users can or cannot do such techniques. Your family techniques are very powerful, but if the enemy finds how to counter them, you all need to have other abilities. Now I took the liberty of taking this 3 chakra papers in order to see which element are each of you aligned with. As you all know, there are 5 elements. Kaden, fire, Raiden, lightning, Suiden, water, Doden, earth, and Fuden, wind. Now every shinobi have an affinity with one affinity, but there are those who have more than one, although they are the exception. Now imbue this paper with chakra and let's see which element are you aligned with." Doing what they were told, all 3 focused chakra and result appeared. Kiba's paper turned to dust, while Shino's crumbled and Hinata's got soaked. Seeing that her team only had 1 affinity each and the fact that Kiba wasn't entirely happy, she told them that even though being aligned with 2 elements gave the ninja some advantage, it didn't mean that his skills would be better just because of it. "Now, I'm passing an assignment for you 3. Head for the library and try looking into the theory behind each elements as well as pick at least 2 techniques from C to B level for us to practice. Unfortunately, since I chose to be a genjutsu user, I'm not qualified to teach elemental ninjutsu, but in case you need extra help, I can ask either Asuma or Kakashi-san to help you guys," said Kurenai, but just as she was about to dismiss the team, Kiba turned to ask. "Kurenai-sensei, do you happen to know which Naruto's affinity is?" asked Kiba, remembering that the blonde won their only match and thought of him as a worthy rival even now that he made ANBU. Kurenai for her part wondered why he wanted to know about her boyfriend so much, but she remembered that Naruto won against Kiba on their first Chunin exams, so she smiled and decided to answer not only his affinities but also his other skills. Naruto is an exception. He has Suiden and Fuden affinities, as well as proficiency if not mastery on Raiden element, answered Kurenai, though she felt a little guilty of doing this, since Kiba thought of him as a rival and by listing Naruto's skills, it would blow away Kiba's confidence, but also it could help him, in case Kiba viewed Naruto as a model to surpass and become stronger. Wow, he isn't ANBU for nothing then. Alright Akamaru, let's get going to the academy, we need to reach Naruto's level then. Let's go my boy. Hina-chan, would you like to come as well? Asked Kiba, to which Hinata complied and jumped on top of Akamaru, leaving Shino and Kurenai behind. Gee, I forgot to explain about the elements cycle, said Kurenai before slamming her hand on her forehead. Don't worry, I believe we know about it, but if what you said about Naruto's abilities are true, then his elements can beat ours, said Shino, merely stating a fact more than trying to get stronger than Naruto. I believe so, but since you have Raiden affinity, he can aid you if you want to. He also can help Hinata since she has sweet an affinity, said Kurenai, though that was a thought for later as Shino addressed to her. Since my presence is no longer required, I'll be heading for the library, see you Kurenai-sensei. After Kurenai waved him goodbye, she turned to look at the clock and sighed in relief from having 15 minutes time to reach the park for her date with Naruto. After paying the bill from Ichiraku's, Naruto walked towards the market area in order to buy some food for his picnic with Kurenai. Since he already knew what he needed, he went quickly inside, using a henge, so as to not arouse suspicion from the salesman. Naruto, now with black hair, black eyes and without whisker marks, slowly picked the items of the store's shelves and went in line to pay. As his turn was up, the salesman looked at him suspiciously, somehow recognizing his face with the demon brat, much to Naruto's dismay, since he thought only to change the most obvious, like the whisker marks. As the salesman was adding the price of the products to the vendor machine, he was looking at Naruto trying to associate him with the demon brat. Naruto for his part figured that at least he could pay the man quickly so not to be recognized. Fortunately for him, the man seemed to shrug it off, giving Naruto the bag with the items while Naruto gave him the right amount. After he left the store, he dismissed the henge and closed his eyes. 1 year using the black ANBU mask, Naruto forgot how it was to simply walk around without it. With the mask, nobody recognized him, and those who found his appearance suspicious instantly dismissed the thought, thinking that he was an ANBU. Now that he remembered again how it was for him to buy things, Naruto sighed, wishing that people would put aside what happened 16 years ago. Dismissing the melodrama kind of thought since it wouldn't help dwelling on the inevitable, Naruto looked at the time to see that he was supposed to meet Kurenai in 20 minutes. Seeing that he was just a few miles from the park, he would make there in time for his date with the red-eyed beauty. At the park. As the ANBU arrived at the park, his eyes caught yet another photographic vision. Kurenai was laid below a leafy tree, seemingly comfortable while lying on the grass. Upon looking at the tree, some sunbeams were visible, making the picture even more beautiful. As he approached the red-eyed beauty, he landed the goods slowly as to surprise the kunoichi. I come here to meet with a beautiful woman only to see a goddess lying on the grass below this leafy tree while bathed in sunbeams, said Naruto, instantly getting Kurenai's attention as she smiled from the compliment as well as the man's warmth smile. You always had a way with words. I'm glad that you arrived on time, but being an ANBU meant having to arrive on time, so I'm not surprised. After that, Naruto fixed the little picnic for the couple, while taking the items he purchased at the market, including fruits, cheese, sushi, sashimi and some tea. Kurenai was surprised to see the items Naruto bought for their date, seeing that he managed to bring some good stuff along. She was worried about leaving shopping to Naruto, not because of him, but more because of the fact that he was a man and she knew that men and shopping never went along. While eating, the couple was discussing about missions, ninja training, genjutsu techniques that were Kurenai's favorite subject. After a while, Naruto asked if Kurenai known of any genjutsu technique that could be used to alter the enemy's perception, to which Kurenai, after a considerable pause, thought of one C-level genjutsu technique called Heki Shukai no Jutsu, false surroundings jutsu, that happened to do just what Naruto described. Kurenai was more than pleased to see that her boyfriend was demonstrating such interest in genjutsu, but she felt the need to ask why he needed this particular genjutsu. Naruto responded that he wanted to create a new taijutsu style called Genkaku Genkatsu, illusion fist, which consisted of disorienting the enemy with genjutsu while attacking with taijutsu or even kenjutsu. Needless to say that Kurenai was impressed with the creativity, but also knew that such a feat had yet to be done. She didn't know of anyone who managed to mingle genjutsu with taijutsu like the way Naruto described, and suddenly she got interested on her boyfriend's project. After the lunch was over, Naruto was lying down on the grass with Kurenai resting her head on his chest, being both in deep rest. As they closed their eyes, two teenagers were passing by the park, since they were to go to the hospital. On their way, the girls watched the couple below the tree and saw heart on their eyes from the romantic scene, oblivious to the couple's identity. Haruno Sakura and Ino Yamanaka, both proud members of Konoha's gossip club, decided to see for themselves who was the new couple. As they arrived closer, they spotted Team 8's sensei Kurenai lying on top of what seemed like a beautiful blonde man with whisker marks well defined on each cheek. Sakura found the man's appearance strangely familiar, but she couldn't remember. Sakura. This man looks like Naruto, doesn't he? Asked Ino, making Sakura go wide-eyed in realization of who the blonde man was. Naruto. And Kurenai-sensei, together. Sakura was visibly fuming at both her ex-teammate and the red-eyed Junin. Since Sasuke rejected her, Sakura was however confident that Naruto would eventually claim her and she wouldn't be alone anymore, but now that he and Kurenai were together, she felt that he lost her only hope of being with someone. Kurenai was older than him, it's not fair. Why can't she be with people of her age? Sakura couldn't control herself anymore and stormed off to other way, leaving a happy Ino for two reasons. One, that she simply adored romantic couples on the park, and second, that Sakura was visibly angry with him. Since Sasuke rejected Sakura, she kept going like Naruto will eventually want to date her and marry her, since she thought that he still had a crush on her. To say that Ino didn't agree was an understatement. She made it quite clear to Sakura that she disagreed full-heartedly with Sakura's thinking of trying to manipulate Naruto's crush on her to get what she want. And now seeing that Naruto was with Kurenai, Ino couldn't help but smile at seeing that the couple seemed to fit with each other rather nicely. Naruto was always a strong person, so he needed a strong companion both physically and mentally. Sakura was physically strong, but inside she was weaker than an academy student, having a wide number of insecurities to deal with. I'm happy for you, Naruto, Kurenai-sensei, thought Ino as she walked away, leaving the lovely couple. As the couple woke up, each of them went to their homes with the promise of a sleepover tonight from Naruto, who figured that since Kurenai slept in Naruto's apartment, then now it would be his turn to go to her apartment, much to her delight, since that way she could show her apartment to him, but at the same time scared to death if Anko or Yugo decide to appear, but she thought that they wouldn't show up, right? At Kurenai's apartment. After some time, Naruto knocked on Kurenai's apartment, while taking a look at the building his girlfriend lived in. The building was for shinobi only, and only Chunin rank or higher could rent one of this apartments. After a while, Kurenai opened the door to reveal the blonde man smiling at him, accompanied with a greeting and a quick kiss on the lips, to which Kurenai gladly returned it and then ushered him in. Her apartment, although small, was rather comfortable. Since Kurenai lived alone, the need for space was irrelevant next to the real necessities, like bed, bathroom, kitchen and living room. While Naruto was familiarizing with the place, Kurenai went to the kitchen and fixed some tea to relax a little, before they went to bed. Kurenai knew that Naruto's body still didn't recover from ANBU's strenuous activities, and she was worried since this would be his last day off from ANBU duty. Although he did rest a while, he needed at least a full night's sleep in order to keep up. After drinking the tea, Naruto found the herbs making its desired effect as his shoulders visibly relaxed. Kurenai, feeling the need of helping her boyfriend to relax, led him to an armchair while giving him some chakra-induced massage, that when applied correctly, it can relax the guy's muscles. As she initiated the massage, Naruto felt like every part of his body wanted him to surrender at the woman's touch and just let go, so he gladly surrendered and devoted himself for the touch of his goddess. Kurenai for her part was enjoying the feeling of relaxing her boyfriend to no end, and also a little turned on from his moaning for her name. Okay, Naruto-kun, let's go to bed now and rest for tomorrow, said Kurenai, to which Naruto nodded, rising of the chair and lying down on the bed. As soon as Kurenai was about to turn off the lights, she could hear a familiar sound coming from the living room and cursed, while heading there. As she arrived, she saw Anko and Yugo inspecting the place and finding some men's clothes near the table. Guys, I have company here today. So, said Kurenai, making Anko and Yugo turn her heads to the voice only to see Kurenai wearing no more than bra and panties. Anko for her part was enjoying the feeling of further blackmail against Kurenai, while Yugo was thinking about who was inside the room. Kurenai-chan, could this belong to Black Wolf? Asked Yugo, showing Naruto's shirt for Kurenai, who yanked off Yugo's hands. Yes, this is his clothes. Today is his last day off, so he's sleeping with me today. Because of that, I would appreciate if both of you shunshine somewhere else, maybe to Hana's place, said Kurenai, waving them off, to which Anko and Yugo complied, but not without Anko leaving a dirty comment. Don't work him too hard, Kurenai-chan, you said it yourself, it's his last day off. After that, Kurenai got back to the room and lied down next to Naruto, who was watching intently to Kurenai's lingerie and her beautiful body. What was that all about? Asked Naruto, to which Kurenai answered by placing a wet and passionate kiss on his lips, initiating the makeout sequence, which would after lead to love-making sequence. On the next day, Naruto woke up earlier than Kurenai since he needed to be at HQ in less than half an hour. Since he brought his equipment with him to Kurenai's house, he was able to sleep a little longer with the woman of his dreams. Now, with only the mask left to put, Naruto looked at the figure sleeping peacefully behind him and smiled. Before he left, he wrote a note to her and gave her a kiss on the lips, whispering softly, "Sleep peacefully, Red Rose," said Naruto before seeing Kurenai smile and embrace herself even harder. Now on the way to the door, Naruto heard a door knocking. Being a little afraid of being discovered, not knowing that her friends already knew about him, he was taken aback when a familiar voice called for him to open the door. "Black Wolf, it's me, Cat. Open the door," said Yugo behind the door. When Naruto opened the door, his team's second in command was there with her arms crossed, but without the mask, leaving the two of them to face each other without the mask since Naruto joined the force, to which Yugo was finding it hard to hold the blood from fall from her nose, even though she already saw his face once, but not so close. Yugo was feeling quite lonely lately, since Hayate always made excuses saying that he had a mission or that his friend Genma invited him for something. To tell the truth, Yugo was jealous of Kurenai for having a boyfriend like Naruto, who not only is an ANBU, therefore missions day and night, but also he made time to see Kurenai. Not to mention that he is hot as hell. But since she's supposed to be the second in command, she turned to professional mode and ushered him to present to ANBU HQ immediately, to which he complied before putting his mask. At ANBU HQ, taking nearly 5 minutes, Black Wolf and Cat arrived at the location, only to find that their team had yet to arrive. Feeling the need to get to know Naruto a little better, Yugo turned to ask him. "Well, since our team has yet to arrive, why don't you and I get to know each other, since we not only are on the same team, but also have a common acquaintance?" asked Yugo, to which Black Wolf turned and said. "Ask away, then. How are your feelings for her?" asked Yugo out of the blue, taking Naruto by surprise, since he didn't know he was being tested here. "Direct to the point, I see. Well, I won't get into the whole history, since I believe you already know. Every time I see her, I feel the need to smile. Every time I see her smile, I feel warm inside. Every time I see her sad, my heart crumbles. I love her," said Naruto, making Yugo smile behind her mask, but sad since she wanted to hear someone say stuff like that to her. "She's very lucky to have a guy like you, Naru. I mean Black Wolf," said Yugo, who now was crossing her arms more firmly close to her heart region, trembling a bit. Naruto for his part was confused after seeing such reaction from the vice captain. Sure, ANBU can be brutal, but then again he knew from Kurenai that Gecko Hayate was dating Yugo, so why she was feeling like this? "Cat, is something wrong?" asked Naruto, now concerned for his teammate. "Ah, well, you gave me an honest answer, so I'll give you one as well. I've never told this to anyone, not even Kurenai or Anko, and I'm not even sure I could tell you," said Yugo, clearly on the verge of tears right now. "You'll never know, unless you try," said Naruto, now taking away his mask, just to show her that she could trust him. "Why did you take away your mask? Aren't you afraid of people seeing you like this?" asked Yugo, now taking her mask as well. "2 days ago, I went to buy some groceries, and for the owner not to recognize me, I hanged my face so not to be recognizable. After I left, I realized that living behind a mask can only hide you for some time. I wore a mask my whole life, sometimes a break from using one is needed. Now, tell me what's wrong," said Naruto, now turning serious. "Well, I guess you know who my boyfriend is. For the past couple of months, Hayate has been avoiding me with missions and friend hangouts, and now I feel lonely," said Yugo, looking down on the ground in shame for showing such weakness. "Yugo-san, do you like him?" said Naruto, making Yugo look at him with surprise, since she didn't expect such blunt and extremely personal question. However, after thinking a little bit, she couldn't find the answer, mumbling the following. "I don't know anymore. I thought I did, but now I don't know," said Yugo, to which Naruto turned away, putting his mask and saying, "Face him and be open with him. It worked for me and Kurenai-chan. Now, put on your mask." Bear and Hawk arrived. said Naruto, making Yugo put hers almost instantly. Hawk and Bear entered HQ to find Cat and Black Wolf already there. Let's go team. A ranked mission towards Tanzaku Gai. Missing nins approaching from the north in 2 hours, let's move. ANBU HQ's training ground. After the completion of the mission, which sadly the ANBU team had to dispatch only 20 C-ranked missing nins from Suna, Naruto was found inside one of ANBU's hidden training grounds, fighting against 5 cage bunchins, using all forms of ninja arts. Right now, he was training combinations using physical skills together with chakra-type abilities. Naruto once heard Kurenai tell him that genjutsu wasn't only to deceive the opponent for a finishing blow, but also to diffuse the opponent's sense of space for a while. Naruto could deliver not only taijutsu but also kenjutsu strikes, if he ever took the time to use his Fuden ninjutsu. As the clones attacked, the real one made the hand seals for a genjutsu he learned from his girlfriend called Heki Shukai no Jutsu, false surroundings jutsu, and messed with the clone's perception of the real Naruto's position, making him kick the air, receiving a direct punch on the face, therefore vanishing in a puff of smoke. The others followed suit with a combined taijutsu combo, with 2 on each side, attacking the real Naruto. The real Naruto did a roundhouse kick on the farthest clone from him, sending waves of smoke towards the others, making the clones lose their eyesight for a moment. Needing to dissipate the smoke, one of the clones started making hand seals for the Fuden Daitapa no Jutsu, wind style. Great breakthrough jutsu using little chakra just to clear the smoke, but it was no use since the real Naruto went behind them, landing some serious hits on the clones, dissipating them and gaining what minimal experience the clones gathered about his new style of fighting while using genjutsu as a supplementary technique. Meanwhile, Tenzo was watching Naruto's training with interest, clearly behind his mask. He was to give Naruto a message, but as he arrived at the training ground, he got to see the genjutsu being used as a way of deceiving the clone into thinking that the real Naruto got the hit while instead the clone ended up hitting an imaginative opponent, leaving the clone wide open for an attack. Tenzo only did one mission with the now black-masked ANBU some time ago to retrieve the last Uchiha, but he never thought of seeing Naruto fighting like that. Black Wolf, report, said Yamato, ANBU chief, with authority, to which Black Wolf appeared instantly in front of him and bowed. Sir, Black Wolf presenting for duty, said Naruto, saluting the ANBU chief. Black Wolf, at ease. I'm here to tell you that your Junin exam is in 2 days, be prepared. Report at Hidden Training Ground number 2 at noon, said Tenzo, but inside his mind, he was thinking of the irony in the situation. When he first met Naruto he was a genin, now he got nominated for ANBU's Junin exam with recommendation from all his peers, including Bear, who happened to be most skeptic member of the ANBU, when it came to measure other members' abilities. Oh, and Black Wolf, said Tenzo, to which Naruto turned his head in order to pay attention to what the leader had to tell him. Good job and good luck on the exams, said the leader, not even waiting to hear whatever reply the black-masked ANBU had, to which Naruto smirked behind his mask. I am to please Yamato Taiko.